Hopefully, everybody is having a great Saturday. Happy for everybody to be here. We are the Primetime Kings of live stream, and we like to welcome everybody here. Thank you all for coming. We're excited to be here. Sorry for the little delay. We was backstage just trying to figure a few things out, but it all worked out. So, other than that, thank you all for being here. I'd like to say thank you to my co-hosts, Baron Norman Tag, New Bomb Turk, Vigilante Williamson. He'll be joining us shortly. He dropped me a message saying, "Hey, I'll be a little late, but I'm coming." So, we'll definitely see Vigilante here shortly, and I'm just thankful to have you all here with us. Baron, let everybody know how you doing, man. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, 24. Just hanging out here. I had a good show earlier, and looking forward to a good week. Doing some gaming, hopefully this week and such. So I'm perky.
There you go. There you go. All right. How you doing, New Bomb?
I'm a little confused. You said it was Saturday. Did we go backwards in time? Wait, Saturday? I don't know what's going on. So whatever Baron is, I'm the 180 degrees of that. I just woke up. I'm confused easily in this state. So
now's our chance, 24. Let's take advantage of it.
Oh, come on now! Don't be like a Wayne Brady.
Whoa. Too soon.
Yeah. We'll let that one go.
Oh shit. Oh man. But before we get started, I'd like to say what's up to everybody out there in the chat. Hopefully you all are doing well. See, we have Lord Thoth in the house. How you doing, my brother? Hopefully everything's good with you. Man, got my brother Jeff in the house. Low Spec Linux laptop. What's going on, brother? We got my main man right here, Juice Cannon in the house, saying hello, everybody. Man, hopefully you're doing good, Juice, man. Great to have you here. All right, we got Turk in the chat already. What's up, my boy, the Professor? How's it going, Professor? Hopefully everything's good with you. It's over there. It's evening time where he's at. He's over in the UK. So, man, thank you for being here, man. Appreciate you. Oh, he's over there showing love from the UK, man. It's fucking awesome. We got the long suffering in the house. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, thank you for being here. We sure missed you here. I know you catch us when you can, but it's always good to see you. My boy Sean, what's going on, Sean? Sean's awesome. Sean just sent me a package, man, and I haven't opened it yet, Sean. When I do, it'll definitely be on camera. But I want to tell you thank you, man. Sean's awesome, man. He's got a heart of gold, man. Appreciate you looking out for me, man. You have no idea what that does for me, man. Shit, but I just want to thank you again, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. What's up, Lord Thought? Says everything's all good. Man, that's good, man. Thank you all for being here, man. None of this would be happening without y'all. So I'm just very thankful to have y'all here. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's show. And I think we got a few interesting things. We're going to go ahead and what's up, Socks? What's going on, brother? Nah, I would never skip you, Socks. Nah, I wouldn't skip you, man. Matter of fact, shit. There you go. I see you, man. It says hi all. My bad, Socks, man. I would never miss you, man. I would never skip you. And I appreciate you, man. Socks, fucking awesome, man. Always sharing everything that I put out, man. And man, Socks is very supportive, man. Brother, man. I wish I could make 100 of you, man. Damn. But thank you, man. And dude, you'll never be forgotten over here, man. You're always welcome here, and I'm eternally be grateful for everything you've done for me, man. So thank you, Socks. I appreciate you, man. But I figured, I was talking to the fellas out back, my boy Sean. What's up, boy? And we figured, we'll start off this show with something a little wild. Baron, if you will kindly do the honors.
I'm thinking you want Wayne.
You know what? We can go with
Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to little Billy. Let's go to little Billy.
Yeah. Let's get to our fairy godmother here.
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
There you
But
go.
bump.
And I like that.
Okay, we have this here from Variety, and it is by Zach Sharf. I did that on purpose. Stated August 8th, so a few days ago. Little Billy Porter says, I have to sell my house due to strikes. Slams Bob Iger for saying our demands for a living wage are unrealistic. F you. Oh my word! What a movie.
So what's funny? No, you can keep rolling. We don't need to look at his ass. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny is that not only him, but you have Rachel Ziegler, what the fuck her name is. She's, Snow White or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the picket line telling Bob Iger and Disney that you guys need to pay me for every hour that I'm standing in this picket line as being your Snow White, that kind of shit, and it's like, damn. So, and it's crazy because she's not the only one. He's not the only one. You have a lot of these woke ass people that they've hired and went all out of their way to make them feel represented and do all this diversity bullshit. And, to bring them in, hire them for all these roles in these movies. Cause that's not the only thing. Let's say Billy Porter, let's say for him, I don't think this is like him being the fairy godmother. I think he's might've done one or two other things with Disney besides that, but that was like the biggest thing he's known for. And you see all these people that Disney has hired, gave them paychecks, put them on, did all this shit to make him one of the stars. Of course, this motherfucker was the fairy godmother, so he played a significant role. And at the end, they're standing on the picket line telling the company, fuck you.
Right.
And telling Bob Iger, fuck you. So it's like, you went all, so Disney went out of their way to hire this dude so that,
Pardon me.
may God bless you, brother.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Sorry about that.
no, you're good.
No worries.
Yeah. So basically, it's like Disney goes out of the way to hire him, and then when shit changes up, these people are the first people to tell Disney and them to go fuck themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do y'all think about that?
Okay, I'll go first. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know what? I have no sympathy for these little shits, these entitled little pissants. You mean to tell me that you didn't save up enough money throughout your time to be able to have a little nest egg? No, you're probably throwing it away on the glory holes at the YWCA or YMCA and whatever it is. It's the drug of choice, and just screwing around and pissing money away. And of course, I'm sure it was a nice fancy house. So I had to get rid of my big fancy house. Now I got to live like you plebes. And that's just it. These, I have no sympathy. I don't have sympathy for the studios. I don't have sympathy for the writers. I don't have sympathy for the actors. Because every single one of these motherfuckers were the first one, were the ones that were going out there calling U24, calling you New Bomb, calling good old Vigilante Williamson, our people in the chat, all across the Pacific for Cash Money, Doom, all these people. They're the ones that were sitting back telling us to fuck off in one fashion or another. They were calling us ists and phobes because we didn't appreciate the crap that they're giving us.
Right.
And so here here they are with pushing the woke agenda. We don't want it. And all they could do is insult. And now they got their sympathy. Oh, please be so sorry. Feel for us. No, fuck you. Go to hell.
Right.
It's like, maybe you got to learn the code.
Well, and I'm glad you broke the F word barrier instead of me.
It was my turn this week.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Okay. Now I'll weave within that. I looked up his IMDb to see. Let's see what this guy's been in that he's so important. I couldn't figure it out. 33 credits total. And
33 or just 3?
33.
33.
But
okay, wow.
But every one of them was a minor character. Like he's never been the guy in any of the movies. He's always been a background character, or the friend of, or whatever. It's like with what you were saying, where he was probably living a lavish lifestyle. I don't even think he was living that. I lived in California. I know what it costs to live in California. He was probably living in a very plain house because that's all you can fucking afford there.
That's true.
And he hasn't made enough money or been the guy enough to like, I don't know, like to like have a huge bank account.
Right, or to rise above being average. Yeah, like basically, if he had that money and he was living, let's say, out here in Texas, he probably would have been in a mansion. But the fact that he's living out there in Cali, he takes that same money and it just buys him a regular ass house.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and it's funny too, because a lot of these celebrities, because of where they, live, not all of them live in California. The smart ones. Jeremy Renner, where is he living? In one of the Dakotas or some shit? Or Wyoming?
Yeah.
I think it's Wyoming.
So, yeah.
Like, the smart ones don't stick around, but they're also making leading man money, not also ran money.
Right.
Like, if you're in a business that you can't guarantee that you own your house. I'm not saying, you spent millions on a mansion. I'm saying, like, if you can't buy a house and pay it off within the first couple of rolls, then you're not in a position to gripe about Bob Iger. Like, motherfucker, put food on your plate.
Right, exactly.
You got your roles, by auditioning, just like everybody else. And, obviously a fair amount of those roles were, hey, you're gay, dude. You were fitting a specific category.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say, and I agree. A lot of those roles were roles that he was basically, they were checking off a box and he was the fucking product of all the box checking. So, okay, he's black, he's gay, he's this, he's that. Okay, let's hire Billy Porter.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with you on that.
You need a flamboyant black dude. He's it. Like he's the guy on the list. Like
not anymore.
Well, yeah.
Right. You know what's funny? Disney is the kind of company that even like after Billy Porter sat there and talked all that shit, they'll still fucking hire him for another movie when the shit's over with.
Right, because they still need to check that box.
Right, and then fucking give Rachel Ziegler, after all the shit she's been talking from the fucking picket line, they'll still give her another role in another movie, whenever, next year or two, that kind of shit, man.
Right.
Man, I'm telling you. Man.
And I mean, I'll say this: fucking, you look at that industry, and they're not all buddy.
Oh no.
The ones producing the movies,
right?
Don't get to a Saturday evening and go, "Hey, I'm going to give Billy Porter a call and see how he's doing." No, no, they don't do that.
No, they could care
less. They have their own circle that they hang with, and
even the actors themselves.
Oh yeah, there's definitely like tiers to the actordom,
right.
And that was more evident with like when the Marvel movies started really coming out, and you're getting to the first Avengers and the next one and whatever. They all had their, what was it, Instagram chat or some shit where they were all everybody that was in the movie was in the chat. Like, you know, that was a tier in and of itself. Like where you know, all the prime actors in those movies were cool with each other. But you know, like how active is that chat now that most of them aren't even in those movies anymore? Probably not very.
Oh no, they move off. You know, you move on. So
right.
Man. You know, I was thinking like you know, it's like you know, on the picket line, there's been people like, let's say like Steve Amell, the guy that was Green Arrow for the CW.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, he sat there and was talking shit. Then all of a sudden they came after his ass and I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. You know, they did the same thing to Sarah Silverman. And it's like, you know, anybody that has anything to say, they're shutting them down. You know, as far as like, if they're talking shit about the actual people striking. Now, if you're on the picket line and you sitting there and you talking shit towards like Bob Iger and you calling out Disney and you calling out David Vaslov and all this other shit, and, you know, Warner Brothers and whatever the fuck else other companies, then, you know, they, you know, it's like basically if you're an actor and you say something about the strike, you know, as far as like SAG and, you know, Afro fucking up and whatever, then, you know, they'll get on your shit. But if you're an actor talking shit about the companies, then, you know, they're all for that. So it's crazy, man. Right. You got, you know, you also have the president of SAG. That's
Fran Drescher.
Fran Drescher. Now, I know she, you know, she actually said the shit's probably going to last for another 6 months, maybe longer. So that's the end of the year. And I'm gonna tell you something. By the time the holidays roll around, and if some of these people really are fucking broke, dude, they're gonna be tripping once the holidays roll around, because, you know, to get through the holidays it takes money, man, and, you know, you got to buy gifts and, you know, you got to do a bunch of other shit, you know, so it's gonna be a lot of money being spent. But then you got people like The Rock that sat there and donated, but it was like 6-7 figures to actual. There's a fund that they have for all the actors that actually need money to live. Then they'll sit there and put them through a program, and they'll actually get like a monthly check or you know, every 2 weeks or whatever the fuck. And, you know, he sat there and they say, you know, he donated the most money to that, you know, ever, you know, to, you know, that he just fucking came out like 6-7 figures, boom. And they say that it was a pretty high dollar amount of money that he said, well, shit, you know, people going through hard times, fuck it, like basically, you know, I'll fund some of this shit. And he did it on the biggest scale. So, you know, you got all kinds of shit. I'm like, you know, Billy Porter can get some of that money.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, like with The Rock, I'm not surprised because of his background and his upbringing.
Right.
It's not like a huge shock that he did that. That sounds like him. You know, it sounds very much like it. But it's funny when you hear like The Rock did that, and of course he's been doing well in the movies. Some hits, some misses, but he's always gotten paid. So he's in the position to be able to do that. Now look at the others who are absolutely in the position to do that. Did you hear Robert Downey Jr. donating money? I haven't heard it.
No, I haven't.
Did you hear Chris Evans donating money? Now you see the what's his face, dumbass Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo.
Ruffalo, yeah. He's you know, he's out on the picket lines, but he hasn't donated any money. And you know, he made a pretty decent wage on all the Marvel stuff. Like, you know, put your money where your mouth is. If you're like, oh, there's people starving, yeah, you're not starving. You're not hurting.
No.
Right,
Yeah, they like to talk the talk, but they don't like to walk the walk.
Right.
And if they give something that's not much, you just look what I did, and they can write it off for taxes and pat themselves on the back and look, we care.
Right. Well, and it's funny too because like you talked about Stephen Amell, and like they stopped production on Deadpool, but another Canadian actor, Ryan Reynolds. There's still stuff like he's the master at leaking stuff without being attached to leaking stuff. Like the first Deadpool happened because he leaked stuff.
Right.
And you're still getting production images from the set of the one they're filming now.
Right.
And you can't tell me he wasn't involved in some way in that. Like there are ways to get around the strike and still keep, news about your upcoming movie in the news.
Right.
Well, there've been different movies, and I'm not sure about TV shows, but there's been, let's say, different projects that have sat there, and Fran Drescher and, those people that are running that would actually give the actors and, the permission to continue to work. And I'm not sure what it is, but they, they're like, okay, well, while we're going on the strike, we're allowing these actors and actresses to continue working, to finish up, different movies and different projects. And, that's the shit that Sarah Silverman was all pissy about. She was saying, well, how is it that if we're all supposed to be united doing this fucking strike shit, that you're letting, these people and these other movies continue to keep filming? And it's like basically they give them like some kind of waiver or some shit, like some kind of pass in order for them to continue to film. And
sorry.
No, go for it.
Yeah, usually they're smaller independent films, so really they're not even being affected by the big studios. And those are the ones that they're giving that little free pass about, but that's it.
Well, actually, some of these have been some bigger stuff.
Oh, really?
And that's
okay.
And that's why Sal, I can't really tell you off the top what projects that are currently being worked on that Fran basically gave the actors and actresses to continue to work while everybody else got to stand outside and hell no, we won't go. Hell no, we won't go.
Right.
That type shit. Yeah. So it's like, what the fuck? And so basically, there's still people working right now, and then you had one representative that was saying, well, the reason why we're letting these other actresses and actors work is so that they can keep an eye on the studio from within.
Right.
And I'm like,
well, I mean, it's not any different than it.
What are you talking about here? Like, so it's like,
I was gonna say it's not much different like any other union, honestly. Right. They all have provisions for that. Right. The thing that I kind of chuckle about is like, okay, so the primary union in this scenario is the WGA and SAG-AFTRA. So the writers and the screen actors.
Right.
Ain't nobody talking about the motherfucker holding the camera or
the lighting.
Or the set builders or any of that. They're forced into this strike because they weren't the ones initially going, hey, we need to make more money. They didn't start this shit. And now they're dragged into it and having to be out of work while these assholes are insistent on striking. And if anybody needs the money, it's those motherfuckers because they don't make a great wage. They make a decent wage, but not a great wage. They're and they're not rich enough to live in another state and still work in California. That that doesn't fly for a lot of people in under that particular type of work. So it's they're kind of stuck in the middle, like, fuck me, these motherfuckers have stopped all production. So now I'm sitting on my ass at home. Right? You don't see them sitting out there fucking striking. They haven't talked to anybody from that union. they keep talking to the other two unions,
Mm.
you know, and you get stuck in the middle. And that happens in the auto industry too. Like the primary UAW strikes and like the people who work for the outside companies that provide products for those main auto builders,
Right.
you know, they're forced into the same kind of scenario. If the auto workers aren't working, cars aren't getting made, therefore they're not getting sold, and those third-party contractors have to stop production because they've got nothing to send that stuff off to. And yeah, it's a similar scenario. You know, you get people who don't work for GM; they work for, you know, some subsidiary that, you know, produces the, you know, random little part in truck or car, and they get all kind of fucking swept along with it. You know, when unions were created, there was
Right.
there was an absolute need at that time because companies were completely taking advantage of the worker. You know, you're going back early 20th century, and a lot of that came about because of greediness and whatever from the corporate owners.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, we got through that. Unions got you through that, got you a livable wage. Now your purpose has been served. And the union's purpose nowadays is effectively to, you know, it's not their mission statement, but it's effectively to make everything cost more.
Right.
You know, whether they agree to that or not is irrelevant. But would we be paying $50,000 for an average four-door sedan?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the unions had curtailed back in the 60s, I highly doubt it. We'd be paying far less because a huge amount of the cost is because the unions force the auto industry to pay their workers ridiculous amounts of money. And of course, government is not helping any by driving the cost of everything up as well.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to unions, they're a give and go, and you know, they at this point have been doing more harm than good for the general public.
Yeah. My brother Juice says it's extortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Should like to say what's up to DJ Ronnie G, Hephaestus, and Disney Sheep Herder. Great to have y'all here. Thank y'all for being here, man. Appreciate all of y'all. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's effectively
said,
the unions. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was
Especially
just
in the public
saying.
unions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say that probably isn't as damaging, but damaging in a different way, when talking about like public unions or, you know, stuff like that. Like the teachers union probably is one of the least offensive because teachers still don't get paid all that much. Like if you look at the general pay for teachers, it's all over the place depending on where you live and whatnot.
Right.
Whereas like with bigger unions like the UAW and stuff like that, it's pretty even across the board. Like what somebody gets paid in, well, theoretically Detroit, even though Detroit really doesn't make cars anymore.
Right.
You know, or wherever their locations are, their plants, they're paid the same across the board. There's no fluctuation in that. Whereas teachers, you could be in New York and make what you think is a livable wage, but because New York is so fucking ridiculously expensive to live in, or California or whatever,
Right.
that it still ends up not being a livable wage. Now, the damaging part of teachers unions is you get these fucking flakeoids who probably shouldn't be there. You know, the ones insisting on trans and gay and all this other shit.
Mhm.
And that's their whole agenda. It's not to teach kids, it's to teach kids certain things.
Indoctrination.
And right. And that's a problem. Because you can't just fire a teacher unless something crazy comes out.
Right.
And then it's, where like the police get involved in something that they did. And then they can fire them. Because just, something happening at school, and you see it a fair number of times where, something questionable happens, teacher says something on social media, whatever, something that we would normally get canceled for, and they're fired only when something significant happens. And they don't get fired for what they say, like Republicans should die or whatever, like a number of them has said.
Right.
It's different than the auto unions or SAG-AFTRA or whatever, but also not good in the same sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you're working construction now, 24.
Yeah. Right.
Are you part of a union?
No.
No? Okay.
Nah. To be honest, out here in Texas, they don't have that kind of shit out here, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the way it is up north, and whatever they're doing in California, out here in Texas, this ain't a place that's all about that union shit. Because if it was all about that, like in New York, everybody's a part of a union. Out here, man, ain't nobody fucking with that.
Right. Because I know in Arizona, like when I was doing construction, you had all of these contracted side companies that were coming in and doing work, like the electricians and whatnot. And they were they all had their own unions. So it wasn't that they were part of a big group of individuals. They had their own little thing off to the side.
Right.
Like effectively contractors, individual unions.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's...
Yeah, it's trippy, but again, it
I don't know. I guess
like,
I guess depending on
Go ahead. Sorry. Oh.
No, you
Oh,
good.
did we lose him?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't gonna say
No.
anything.
Yeah, we thought you were going to say something.
I was just yeah, I was just I was gonna say, like, out here, I've always wondered why there were, I've never seen like no unions really popping up out here in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like with all the little companies that like Newbomb was talking about that would get contracted by the general contractor to perform different tasks. Like you'll have the electricians, you'll have the plumber, people that do the sheetrock and put up walls and do all kind of shit. You got all these different people, but these are all just little like small companies, so they don't even, there's no union amongst them. Like they're like it's, I don't know. I always wondered why it was like that, but I don't know why it is.
It's hard to say because again, it's state to state, and what
right.
Yeah,
how each state thinks is kind of how it goes. Because like Arizona, we have like all the unions when it comes to construction. Like you'll get two guys coming in to do not the sheetrock, but filling in the seams and doing like the prep work before paint. And it's like it'll be just two guys. And they got their own union. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. But in the turnaround, having been part of some of the conversations for dealing with the one you're working for, or the primary contract, we were working with University of Arizona, And they were the biggest pain in the ass. They wanted everything done and no change in the contract as far as like how much money is getting passed over.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
they change plans. They redo fucking their designs. Like we're gonna change this up and not put plants here. We're gonna put something else here, and they make all these fucking changes, and then when the general contractor's like, okay, so we need to refigure out how much this is going to cost, and they're like, no, we can't do that. We don't have that in the budget. Well, it's like, sorry, but then you don't get your fancy little whatever you wanted done,
Right.
because that's going to cost more money.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, and
Yeah, they were horrible to work with, very bad,
man,
but very, very, very liberal,
right.
and you know, everything is something for nothing with most of, well, the university in general, but a lot of the government contracts, because we had a lot of like local government stuff. We were redoing one police station. We had completely built another one. Those went a bit smoother because a lot of the police stations are just like, we need it this way and that's it.
Right.
You know, it's got to meet a certain criteria. So, you know, they're bound into what they need as much as we're bound into making what they need. So they didn't adjust their contracts, but fuck, that goddamn university was just a nightmare.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it was a university.
Right.
Juice cannon. That's to be expected. And then, you know, and I was working for them right the first moment that COVID went and everybody freaked the fuck out. They freaked the fuck out 10 times worse because they had students on campus and were like, all right, everybody needs to go home now and we'll figure out the classes online with no preparation. Right. So these students ended up going home and going like, how am I going to graduate? I'm in my final year. How am I going to, you know, they had all these questions and the university had no answers. You just can't be on campus. And in the end, when you looked at how they responded to COVID, all that told me is we don't want to be responsible for you getting sick.
Right.
It wasn't about student safety. It was about their bottom line and not getting sued.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm seeing some things on the news about that now, that a lot of the universities have to refund the students back their money, because how you going to charge somebody some shit when they weren't even allowed to be in there, but they already paid their money? Like, you got to get that shit back, man. You can't, you know.
And
Arizona
was no different. Yeah. I mean, like, because they were hit, we got hit with that right towards the beginning of a semester.
Right.
And that carried on, obviously, COVID carried on for more than a year. So, you know, students were signing up and paying the exact same money for at-home classes instead of the on university experience. They were only signing up for online classes, and yet they were paying the same goddamn money that you would pay having to go to university. And that university isn't cheap.
No.
You know, like a number of other universities, that is an expensive university.
Damn.
But that's also the bigger racket. The fact that universities ask for so much. Yeah.
I know it's Juice was saying he called it a free state.
Right.
So that's basically what Texas is like, is referred to as like a free state versus it being unionized.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in a way, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right.
You know, I'm just now understanding some shit, man. Even though, you know, probably should have known a long time ago, man. But I'm catching on, man.
Yeah, and Juice isn't wrong. There's no need for unions in small businesses. Is absolutely correct. It's when you get like, where's the line where you stop being a small business? That's the bigger problem, because a lot of companies will function like a small business, but they're pulling in significant amounts of money,
Right.
like a contractor. You know,
Right.
I mean, the one I work for, they got one tiny little office and that's all they need. But
Man.
they're working all these government contracts and pulling in millions of dollars. Like the owners of that company were crazy rich.
Man, I tell you what, man, during COVID, a lot of small businesses got paid, man. A lot of them got paid, man. And if it wasn't for them getting paid out of, their services being needed, than more than normally, then it's them actually benefiting from all the government programs that were being put out there. So, if you were a small business going into COVID, there were some small businesses that, even with whatever the government funding was, if you didn't meet the criteria, because we lost a lot of comic book shops.
Wow,
during COVID.
A lot of stuff, yeah.
So there's a lot of comic book shops, moms and pop spots, restaurants. There's a bunch of just different things, and even with all the government programs, funding, and everything for small businesses, even that couldn't save a lot of those fucking small businesses that we don't even see around anymore in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
What's
you're
up,
right.
Dax?
Absolutely.
Right. What's up, Loki? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, Loki's here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you bring up restaurants and stuff like that. Like a restaurant, absolutely, unless they're only doing takeout, which I know of some restaurants that are, they scaled back and stopped doing the in-house, restaurant thing and purely just went to takeout because they could still, keep in business. But a regular restaurant purely survives on the people who walk through the door. And when people aren't walking through the door, it don't matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to open up a soda and I didn't want it popping and making noise.
No, you good.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of businesses and I don't necessarily like using Uber Eats or any of that. But I understand why it became so popular is because of the lockdowns and whatnot.
Right.
And they made fucking a killing off of that
shit. Yeah, man. Especially when you just got to bring it. Especially when you just got to bring the food to the front door. You don't even got to go inside. You just,
right, or just drop it off. Yeah, most people didn't want human contact at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, all through that. Fucking, I was using that service to grocery shop. I was using, to eat, like if I wanted something from a specific place or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that shit, it's crazy because when you look at a restaurant's like a if you would call it a AAA restaurant, like a primary restaurant that's a chain, you look at their menu and their prices and you kind of get an idea for what it's going to cost you. Right. And then you look at it through one of those apps and all the prices are different and the add-on costs and all this other shit. Right. Like if I get wings from my favorite place and I go and pick it up, it's minimum $15 cheaper to go and pick it up versus having Uber bring it to me. And I'm not even that far from the place. Like it's not like you're driving half an hour to bring me wings. Like you're doing a 5-minute run for me, and you're getting a tip because you have to tip, otherwise you'll get those crazy videos where people are throwing food.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. Or they'll just never fucking deliver to you ever again. So that's
Right. And then your opportunity pool shrinks because you'll order something and nobody will pick up the order because it's that guy, the dude that doesn't tip or whatever. or doesn't tip enough. It's not even not tipping. It's well, he only gave me a $5 tip. Like, motherfucker, you drove to a location, picked up a bag, and brought it to me. How much more do you want? Like, the $5 covered the gas and gave you a couple bucks extra in your pocket. You still are working an hourly wage, so you're getting paid. Like, yeah, the entitlement for some people, like when it comes to tips, is insane. Like, I tip, if I go to a restaurant and get proper service, I will tip. Absolutely. And sometimes I tip above and beyond if the individual is doing an above and beyond service to me. They're constantly like, hey, do you need another drink? Or, not to the point of annoying, but to the point of being perfectly timed. If I'm taking the last sip out of my soda and the person comes over and says, hey, you need another one? Sure. And that's good. That's the timing that some servers don't have.
Right.
Well, I mean, tip to ensure promptness is what it means. It's not something, it's come to be an expectation. But if they give bad service, why should we reward that? It should be according to how you are treated. And don't be an a-hole about it. You can tell when someone's having a bad day, or and no matter what you're trying to do, it's not going right for them. You can tell that.
Right.
And, show a little bit of everything, but they come over and they're just being total asses. I mean, there was one time I did walk out of a place without a tip because we were the last people they wanted to deal with, and it took so long for them to come by, and they're too busy trying to chat up and get laid. I don't know what it was, but it's like, no, you're not getting a tip. You treated us like shit. But then it goes off of that. It's like, no, how well did you treat us as customers is what I'm going to reward you with. And I can be a very generous tipper if I want to be.
Right. Oh yeah, above and beyond. I mean, hell, living in New York, you can tell if someone has worked a restaurant and been a server in a place that has a lot of tourism. Because you get people from other countries, and a lot of times people from other countries don't understand that. Like, they don't get the tipping thing.
Right. Like in Japan, if they consider that an insult to tip.
Right. And, there are some individuals like, because of where I lived, you'd come across people from Toronto a lot because of the proximity between Buffalo and Toronto.
Right.
So, you can always tell you're dealing with somebody who lives near Toronto when I worked Radio Shack and they wanted to barter on the price. And it's like, no, the price you see is the price you pay. Like, this isn't a barter state. We're not doing that. This is a corporation that has set that price at a certain price point to be competitive. Is that the best you could do on this? Yeah, that is. That number there is the best I can do on that. And that's it.
Right.
But they're also the ones that will either not tip, especially if it's a huge party. They won't.
Right.
They'll actually complain about having a tip added to a bill when there's fucking 30 people. I've had to deal with both of those scenarios, and it's like, and the way the pay structure works for servers is really wonky too. Only recently has that changed, but for years it was they made $2.50 an hour, and it was the expectation was the tips fill out the rest of your pay.
Right.
So if you do well, you'll still make good money.
Like working on commission.
Yeah, exactly. And if you do a shit job, you're never going to get commission work from that person again.
Nope.
And on top of that, they'll probably be like, "This isn't what I asked for," and you'll have an argument about that service right then and there. But yeah, it was that structure for a very long time, and some places still do it that way, where they have a separate pay under servers than it would be
Right.
for like cooks and whatever. But it is what it is.
And Juice said I got kicked out of a Waffle House.
Why does that not surprise me? I mean,
Oh,
nowadays, if you don't start a fight, you might get kicked out. They're like, "What are you doing here? Why aren't you throwing fists?" Get out of
Did she catch
Oh,
that
shit.
chair when you threw it? That's my big
Right.
question.
Oh no!
What's
If it's a little white girl, she caught the chair.
What's up, Zombie Box Reviews? My boy ZBR in the house. How's it going? Zach says up here, unions can help people like contractors get paid, but it gets abused like everything else.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the point I was making. Like, especially when you use the example of like the auto union, where it was an expectation every other year you were going to go on strike, whether it was necessary or not. When I had an opportunity to apply for a job it was one of the side subsidiaries of GM, their Saginaw plant. And eventually it just didn't happen. They didn't end up hiring anybody because financial scenario and they just didn't have the budget for it. But like you get kind of an idea, like talking, like if you ever get a chance, talk to a UPS driver. Now they don't do it as much as they used to. You don't hear about it as much.
Right.
But years ago, I talked to one dude. He's like, "Yeah, you're not going to see me next week." I'm like, "Oh yeah, why is that?" He's like, "Oh, I'll be on strike." And it was just the expectation. Every other year they go on strike to get more pay. And I was like, "Motherfucker, are you making like," and this was at a time where minimum wage was like $8 or not even $8, like $7.50. He was making 24 an hour. Not to plug 24 here, but
no, you good.
He was making 24 an hour at a time where that was considered substantial middle class.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to go on strike." And I'm like, "You're making 24 an hour. What do you need to go on strike for?" "Well, it's just a thing.
Right.
It's time."
You don't understand. It's a UPS thing. You don't understand that. It's like
Right.
Exactly. No, it's a union thing, and I do
It's a
understand.
union thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the UAW did that all through the 70s and 80s until the point where now you could be a forklift driver at GM, if you could even get in nowadays, and you're making 35, almost $40 an hour driving a goddamn forklift. Like, nobody who drives a forklift deserves 40 an hour. I'm sorry. Like, that's not so difficult a job.
I was a forklift driver. I think so. I wish I would have gotten that money. I tell you.
And again, this is all coming from experience. My buddy's dad worked at the Tonawanda GM engine plant, and he had started there many years prior, so he had been there a long time. He was long in the tooth, had his tenure, and he was making crazy bank. And that's eventually he ended up getting hurt at work, and it screwed up his eyesight. So they stuck him on forklift driver. Now, you don't want a one-eyed forklift driver. Ever.
Oh,
No.
You do not. Depth perception is very important with a forklift driver.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. But he was one of those guys making 40 something an hour. And the union said you can't get rid of him. He's still a human being that can function.
Right.
Maybe not exactly at 100%, but he can still do a job.
Right.
So they obviously his medical bills are all taken care of, but even beyond that, like he was bound and determined to retire, and he would have if he had. Well, he ended up passing away early, but if he had lived all the way to retirement age, he would have retired.
Huh. What's up, Rod Thunderheart? What's going on, brother? How you doing? Hopefully everything's good with you, man. Man, the chat is fucking going bananas, man.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Wow.
yeah, it's like, everybody
Everybody working their little fingers off, getting those conversations, and I like that. Love it.
Right.
right. Well, it's at the end of the day, man, we're all just people trying to make it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, you can't necessarily blame people who are in that situation from taking advantage of it, but in turn, when you get into discussions about, wow, back 1970, this car sold for X amount. Why is it we can't even get close to that car anymore as far as like importance or significance or price for a much bigger price now you're getting decent build quality depending on the company, but I've heard shit about Teslas and they don't do union, and Teslas have got dog shit build quality.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the EV guys won't tell you that because yay for EV.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you're seeing panel gaps that are just all kinds of fucking wonky, like eesh.
Before or after they blow up?
Well, you can't tell about panel gaps after they burn to the ground.
That's
the thing.
That's true. And of course, these Tesla drivers, when they're looking down on the ones that are driving the Priuses, where a few years ago they were the Prius drivers looking down on everybody else. So it's like, oh yeah, you little, sanctimonious bitches.
Yeah, and that started with the Prius. I mean,
it started with the Prius.
People who own Priuses should just be shot.
So basically, you guys would say that all this unionizing, all this stuff that's happening with all this, when we wrap it right back around to
SAG-AFTRA and all that,
and all that, then basically, let me ask you this: do you think that SAG-AFTRA, Fran Drescher and all them, do you think they're actually going to get what they're sitting out there picketing for? You think they're actually, like, when they eventually they're going to have to come to the table and figure some shit out, but do you think they're going to actually get what they're asking for?
No,
but that's back to the whole, it's no different than any other union. There's a middle ground somewhere. You ask for more than you need, so that the company will counter offer closer to what you need. And somewhere in the middle is where they'll find that. It's almost career suicide to turn down an offer that would get closer to or exactly at what you originally wanted, because you put that offer on the table that was way fucking ridiculous.
Right.
If you're searching for that ridiculous number that you put out there and you keep denying, eventually they'll just say, fuck it, no more unions.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and the studios have the ace up their sleeve. But the last time they had the strike, we got inundated with the reality shows.
Right.
Now you have AI. And don't kid yourself, they're more than willing to try out and play AI. And
well, like look at Secret Invasion and the whole AI drawn intro. That whole intro was all AI, and people shit on it because you could tell. Mm-hmm. Like you look at it, you're like, oh, it's AI. Yeah.
Right.
Especially with the visuals. Now, I've heard AI created audio stuff like music. Mm-hmm. That you'd shit a brick listening to it. You swear it was the individual who was in singing. Like there's a channel out there, guy put out Frank Sinatra singing songs that hadn't even been created till long after he was dead. Like modern music. Mm-hmm. And it's literally AI trained Frank Sinatra voice. And once in a while, you'll hear like a little hitch that sounds kind of odd. But other than that, that's fucking Frank Sinatra's voice singing like Baby Got Back or some crazy shit. And and it just blows your mind how far they've come with the voice part of it.
Damn.
Not
Yeah,
even leaning on the original, the origins of all this, which was the deep fake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I mean, either deep fake and you could de-age, and there's all kind of things you can do with that.
Right.
So, actually, actors and writers and different folks of that ilk, they have a right to be feeling a little threatened because they see what they can be replaced with, and some of that shit looks actually pretty good. And what happens if AI starts landing jokes and doing other shit that's better than what the writers can do? I mean, the thing is,
wow, that's not a high bar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they say the more that shit keeps doing stuff, it'll start getting better and better and picking up on its own mistakes. So, man, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the key to AI stuff is training it and repeatedly training until the point where it's like you can't differentiate between human created and AI created. Now you can still kind of pick it out.
Right.
But boy, in a few years, you'll have AI created books.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, who do you pay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you pay the AI or do you pay the person who trained the AI? Because there's obviously work going into training that stuff, but is it the same as bitch having issues?
Actually,
you see it pop up and then disappear.
That's what I'm trying to.
Did we scare him away? There he is.
No, he's here.
I'm not having issues. He would bring me in and kick me out. I'm like, what happened? What did I do?
Messing with you.
No.
He was teasing us.
No, I wasn't messing with him. It was just like I would hit him in, but he never came in. So I hit the button again to make sure he got in, and then he would pop in and disappear. And I'm like, well, fuck! I just pressed the button to bring him in. Yeah, it might have,
Yeah. So it's probably lag.
Yeah, I was trying to get you in, and then when it took so long, I was like, let me hit the button again to try to make sure he got in, but it kicked you right back out. And I was like, fuck, just trying to get it right, man.
Oh, no worries. That's why I don't fucking use StreamYard anymore. I'm on OBS, even though that has its own set of issues. In any event, Vigilante wins here on another episode of the Primetime King. Talking about AI now. Not Allen Iverson,
man.
not practice.
Oh, no.
No.
Just AI.
Just AI.
Man,
great
to have you here, brother.
Yeah, good to be here. But
24 is thinking about replacing me with AI, so we'll see how that goes.
I said it in the chat, and I've even played some of it on my channel. AI can already, they used a performance of somebody else, but they can translate the voice and already sing soulfully. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that was
the point I made. There's a number of channels out there. The one that I just seen with the whole Frank Sinatra thing, singing modern songs, and it was just blow your mind because it wasn't even just the voice. It was the music, right? Because Sinatra doesn't sing with like a deep, heavy, Euro beat or anything.
Yeah.
Like it was orchestrated, and that's the part that is really freaking people out. Because like to get your master's degree in music, you have to write for a full orchestra.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers are coming out here, and the AI is taking music that is definitely not orchestrated and
translating it.
Right, and translating it and giving certain parts to certain instruments, and like it's just ridiculous.
I will be to be somewhat fair. I do believe there is some editing trial and error, so maybe you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's training involved.
That training. But even then, that's going to be less of an issue as time goes on because they're going to get better and better.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
If we're the whole entertainment business, and I said this in my chat, I've said this to family and stuff. You're going to have to stop. Like these what word am I trying to say? Ideologues. They put so much into the right kind of fan. We don't want you so much in attacking the fans, and you got to do the opposite. My mom was telling me my sister went to a Beyonce concert, and the tickets can be expensive, but they tried to lower the prices for the tickets, tried to lower the price for the snacks, trying to be more fan friendly. Like Taylor Swift is doing similar things. They're going for fans and trying to bridge that gap. The big thing is the streamers. Now, don't get a PlayStation 5 for one, you might get into a riot, but streamers in general, that's a thing, because it's that you feel like a more connection. And so they invested so much into attacking fans and trying to be on their high horse.
Right.
The entertainment industry is going to be at a point where AI is doing so much, we don't really need you. You know what I mean? So we have to like you to even want to watch your TV shows or watch your whatever. Watch your YouTube, watch your movie, listen to your song. If you're on a high horse and you're too far from us, or you're talking down to us, man, I can make my own AI TV show. That's going to be a thing. People are not even going to be watching their other people's shows. They're going to make their own just to watch.
Actually, people doing YouTube videos like that now.
Yep. Yeah. I've seen them. I've seen plenty of them.
Oh, yeah,
I might do something. I might get into that.
Shit.
Well, and hanging on the music for a bit, like years ago, and Vid, you could probably speak to this as well. Production quality was measured whether you were in a studio or not.
Right.
If you were trying to record something at home on a 2-track or a 4-track, you could tell that was done on a 2-track or a 4-track. There are recording limitations to that. Now, the software that's available and the equipment that's available for a computer takes production quality and says, fuck you, I can do this at home.
Absolutely. For $150, you can have something that has higher quality than everything 2010 back. Everything, absolutely. Anything you could think of from, because I remember those old, when they first came out with computer converters, and if you didn't get a high quality one, it still sucked. And now, you got an iPad or a laptop and a cheap interface. You're good. You're as good as anybody else. In fact, a lot of people are just recording in their cars, recording wherever, because you don't need to.
Yeah,
a prime example of that.
Yep.
The video that is the whole right wing freak, getting all excited over that West Virginia farmer or whatever. He recorded that outside. Just him and his steel guitar, and that was it.
So you can do a lot with your phone from the video standpoint. They even got attachments, so if you want to get a little bit more high end, you can put lenses on your iPhone. To try to add a little bit, and they look pretty good if you can do it. So I mean, the production cost for the everyday person to do some form of entertainment, especially in social media era, has just fallen. So it's like, man, if you want to be on this high horse and talk shit about the fans, and because you don't like the way they voted, man, you picked the wrong time to do it. Because more people are watching. I don't know if you ever see the guy who dances to Michael Jackson dressed like Spider-Man. He's based in Texas.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
I forgot his name. But more people watching guys like that. And y'all know who he is. People are just coming up, going on TikTok, going on Instagram, coming up with something cool, and they're becoming just as big. The NPC meme, Lord, we've talked about that on the channel. That's a new thing. People are finding entertainment is becoming way more nichified, and the big budget corporate entertainment, man. They're going to go to AI just for the budget standpoint, man. You can't be spending $500 million on the Marvels. That movie's not going to even make $500 million. How is that going to happen? That's what I heard. Who was that on? Oh no, I think it was on. Matt just did a MF out the blue. I think was that why I heard it? I hope that number's wrong. That was a production number, so that means they need to promote it. And
now with the strike, they can't promote it. Not like they would have liked.
Disney's going. Disney's going to sell. That is now becoming yes.
What's up, Keely Chow?
Too many failures. Yeah. Too much money being sunk. ESP. Every Everything they fucked up. They've even fucked up the parks. They fucked up ESPN. They fucked up Marvel. They fucked up Star Wars. All 4 of these things were titanium proof 5, 6, 10 years ago. They could not be anything. You know, you could not. ESPN had like 100+ million subs in 2011. Now like 70, 75, and more tanking. And then they had to let people off, so more people are going to leave with them. Yeah. And in the parks, you know, say what you will. I get out. I can talk something about the politics, but I think a lot of that LGBTQ plus stuff, I think that's scary. Once it became public, because a lot of them didn't know all the little subtle shit that we paid attention to. But when they when they went at DeSantis and that bill, a lot of these Southern families, and I used to work with people, they were full-time Disney members. They would go every other weekend to Disney, even from Charlotte. They just love Disney, and they would go. And so some of these families that have been doing that years and years, now Disney's woke because they didn't know. Normies don't know. I'm like, what is going on? And they're not.
Well, I mean, when you plop a dude in a dress with a mustache and as a greeter in one of your stores, it kind of becomes obvious.
Yep. And so,
hey, how's it going? My name's Molly. How can I help you?
Right.
Sorry, I just had a couple packs of cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'll say that. You know, it's like I know. For Pride Month, they had like drag queen events happening over at Disney World and Disneyland. You know, for the whole month of was that June?
Pride Month or whatever.
Yeah. So
Barrett.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Walmart. How can I help you?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's going to end up being.
Yeah. I'm the newest princess at Disney, Princess Gorlock, the Destroyer. No man can resist me. Right, Vigilante?
No, I'll pass. He will laugh. Yeah, ESPN was carrying the TV division for years and carrying it well, and now they're failing and now they're falling. They pissed off the families with the parks. Some people are still going, obviously, but I know this past holiday, July 4th, last month was the one of the worst July 4th
attendance.
Yeah. And you know, obviously I think accounting for the pandemic, but still. So if you go back 2019 and back, one of the worst ones they've had in years. And so they you know, there's a lot of operating costs, and then they keep dropping movies nobody wants to see. They can keep artificially pushing up controversies all they want. There's no more. Geez, the StreamYard guy
lost 24.
Jeez.
Whoa, hey. Sorry.
I guess you're the host, Baron.
Yeah.
Hey,
everybody. Welcome to the new Primetime Kings. I'm your host, Baron Norman Tag. With me, of course, is New Bomb Turk and Vigilante Williamson. And, so let's talk about that new Barbie movie. How do you guys like it?
No.
Did not see it. Even though I have a perverse interest. I'm not going to lie. I do have a perverse interest in checking it out.
I did see it because...
Did you?
And not for Barbie in any sense. It was actually more for, like... Well, of course... Margot Robbie, because you know Margot Robbie.
Easy on eyes. She's easy on eyes.
Oh, definitely. But even Gosling, like I liked him as an actor. I don't necessarily like everything he's been in, but I've seen him in really good stuff.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And I liked his work. So I wanted to see how fucking emasculated he was.
Everybody says he's the hero. But that's a new thing. Like that's kind of a hot take. Or maybe it's not so hot because it's become popular, but a lot of people are like, if you watch it from a certain lens, it's a great movie and he's the hero of it. And I haven't seen, that's why I want to see it. Hearing that, like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cinch Dildo swears that's the case. And so I'm like, and he's not the only one saying that. That's a thing out there. Like, Ken is the real hero. Shout out to Ken. So I got to see this fucking movie just because of that.
Well,
and you want to see the tranny Barbie that they got in there?
No.
I am Barbie.
No. The thing, like, to me, if you have to go into a movie with a specific mindset, you've already lost in a way. Like
enough.
you're forcing yourself to look at it from a certain angle.
Right.
When I go and see a movie, I don't want it to have to tell me to do that. Like
Yeah.
I'll watch it from whatever angle is in my mind, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like to me, I understand some of the takes, like the whole Ken, is it Knuff,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. Like,
Wow.
I get it because he takes the patriarchy and brings it to Barbie land.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's hilarious. It is
That's
funny.
awesome. And then yeah, because you see him acting one way, and then I guess when he get back to Barbie land, he's all G'd up like a motherfucker, like he's on some other shit. Yeah, he's like, he's like, fuck
Right.
yeah.
But what it does speak to, it is kind of funny because in a way, if you look at it from that angle, he brought some of the real world back first before she did. But the whole idea of Ken coming to a world he knows nothing about and getting treated a certain way, because in the end, Ken is the perfect representation of, what women technically see in a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And at least what used to be the case. And him getting treated differently by just random people on the street or,
Right.
in the corporate world or whatever. Obviously the feminists wanted that to see how easy it is for a guy to be accepted versus a woman. But in reality, it was not because he was a dude, but because he was perfect.
He's the ideal dude. Like most men do not look like Ken.
Right,
or
exactly.
Ryan Gosling.
He's
you know
the
what I
alpha.
mean?
Right. Well, yeah, and that's always been Ryan Gosling's thing. Like, if you looked at what was the one he did with Steve Carell.
Or Driver.
No, well, Driver was good, yes, but no, the one he specifically did with Steve Carell, where he was helping him get his mojo back or whatever.
40-year-old,
and he was
40-year-old virgin.
No, he wasn't in 40-Year-Old Virgin. It was a serious movie.
That's probably why we don't know about it.
He ends up dating Steve Carell's daughter.
Oh.
And his daughter is the redhead.
Okay.
The one from Amazing Spider-Man that was blonde in Amazing Spider-Man. What the hell's her name?
You said Crazy Stupid. Crazy Stupid.
Yeah, Crazy Stupid Love or something like that.
Yeah,
Emma Stone. There you go. Emma Stone. And like, there's a scene in that movie where Ryan takes his shirt off, and he's like, he's and he had to do this to get ready for the scene. He's dehydrated.
Right.
Like you can tell when the skin gets so tight around the muscles that every single striation in the muscles is visible. Like his 6-pack was off the chain. It was an 8-pack at that point. And she comments on that, like, can you do anything badly? Like, you are perfect. And that was the whole commentary on it, was he was a very shallow dude, but because he was physically perfect, she couldn't help but fall for him.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same idea. Like, Ken is so perfect when he comes to the real world that even the guys he deals with are like in envy of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck, you're what I wish I looked like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more, it speaks more to why he got treated that way than it does all the patriarchy and all that other shit. Right? He's the specimen, if you will.
Yeah.
Right.
Quick aside about that. I've heard that like those actors, I want to say Hugh Jackman talked about, like they get super dehydrated. It's like kind of dangerous. They get to a dangerous point to look like that.
Henry Cavill did the same thing when that episode of Witcher came out where he was in the tub.
Mm-hmm.
And like he goes to stand up and like every single muscle has a muscle on it kind of thing. Like he said that I had to stop drinking 2 days before that.
Yeah,
no liquids whatsoever.
You're risking death. Like seriously.
Exactly. Just to look a certain way.
You could be done. That's what a lot of those fighters will do. That's how they cut so much weight. They just stop drinking water for like a day and a half, 2 days.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How come there's no commentary about that? About what men got to go through? They always want to talk about what women got to go through for these roles, man.
No,
because that's something good.
Like that goes against the narrative. They don't want to talk about that. Like a woman to be sexy doesn't have to get dehydrated.
No, all you gotta do, you gotta count your calories. Oh my God, you know what I mean? This guy has to damn near die. Eat less junk food, and even then, I like them thick. So then, and a lot of people do nowadays. So you're not even have to, just be reasonable. Just don't go. You can't do the obese though. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the.
If you got to move a flap to get in there, no, that's not.
Yeah, good. I'm talking about the make Lizzo look small size girls. That
Lizzo will never be small.
There's some big ladies nowadays. Yeah,
and
I'm a big dude. I've been out with family this whole week. Shout out to fam, and we went to the museum, and I realized how big I am. But I also realized I am not alone.
No. Well, that's in the U.S. in general.
Yeah,
like the general populace of the U.S. isn't in shape.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's not talk about getting forced to eat a banana in this camp.
No.
Oh boy, I'm not trying to get a record deal or a movie contract, so I don't have to be forced to eat
or be a dancer.
Or be a dancer. A private dancer for money.
Yeah. Hey, well, I tell you what, man. I think we've killed the shit out of this one. Hey, let's bring it in with Wayne.
Yeah.
Just don't even say nothing. Just bring it in. Don't even say. Okay. Because I want to see the look on Vigilante's face.
Ready? 1, 2, and 3.
What is going on? No, I saw that. I already saw the story.
Oh, you saw.
Wait, Brett. You know what though? I thought two things. Like, this isn't the biggest shock because there were rumors back when he was at his heyday. I'm like, does he like the ladies? Does he like the men? And then secondly, everyone's doing it because they got to stay on. That's the new way,
right?
He was married and got a daughter, so I was like,
still whispers about that shit back when he was,
I had no idea, man.
Oh man, people we start. He got some sugar in his tank. That's what they used to say back then. Don't yell at me. Don't come at me.
Oh no! I had no idea. That's why when I saw this, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Not the most shocking thing.
I mean that speaks to any dude who can sing and dance. Automatically gets a question mark over top of them.
Especially the dancing.
It's just our society. Yeah, Like he was really good at what he did. Like he's not in the music industry, even though he's had, if I'm not mistaken, he's had albums out. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's Hugh Jackman. He sings and dance. He caught COVID fucking being a part of that.
Yeah, he does do a little bit of that dancing stuff because he did that musical, right?
The thing with him is,
and caught COVID. Being around, all the actors. Somebody had that shit, and everybody, So it's like. He'll do 2 or 3 shows, catch COVID, take 2 weeks off to recover, and then come back and he caught it again. But he caught it twice, if I'm not mistaken, man. So it was like, damn, somebody's staying sick over there.
Right.
Yeah.
So
the funny thing with him is because he's not an American, like he's Australian, so there's like this assumption that a gay Australian, that could never happen.
You're right, Mike.
Right? Like there's just this masculinity about Australian men that whether they're in shape or not, they're men. Like it's just assumed that he goes out back and shoots a fucking kangaroo and eats it or whatever.
Is real.
Right?
With all the animals and spiders, like you gotta be a man just to handle that shit.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go dancing out into the outback like a questionable individual.
Man.
But yeah, I mean and plus he did, the Wolverine thing and he, all of that. So in a lot of people's eyes, he is Wolverine. No matter what else he does, he's Wolverine. so that pulls a little bit away from the "Are you straight?"
Yeah, people aren't going to be as quick to ask. But I mean, even
Right.
then, I know the Wayne Brady, that was just kind of a thing. Like I heard of it
Yeah.
back then, but
Right.
I mean, maybe not everyone did. Clearly, 24 said he didn't. And
Yeah,
again,
I had no idea, man.
This quote unquote pansexual thing, we've seen a lot of actors and actresses over the past
Right.
6 to 7 months, or not as long as that, maybe 2-3 years. Oh,
Man.
LGBTQ, pansexual.
Man.
Right.
I don't believe
Now-
them all. I just don't.
Now change a word in this title here from pansexual to bi.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Because what the fuck is like I'll fuck anything. You're gonna fuck a chair? Really? You're gonna I mean, it makes no
Well,
sense.
Mhm.
It's a weird way of saying I'm bisexual. Okay, cool.
Well-
we kind of thought that already, dude.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Does that, okay, being pan, does that, and I don't know, so I'm asking the question, does that cover animals?
Technically,
No.
yes.
I mean,
But is
it
theoretically, but
Huh?
So here's the thing. If we're being real technical about pan, it
Right.
can go far. It can get dark. It can be another P word.
Oh,
But-
yeah,
If we're
Yep.
talking practically, I'm with New Bomb. A lot of these guys,
yeah,
I don't
they're
even think some
bi.
of these people are bi. I think they're just,
Uh,
this is what you say and how, at least I hope so. Even though I'm a conspiracy theorist, I think a lot of guys, a lot of guys are just saying this
oh,
just
shit.
to get a job. And a lot
To,
of girls are
to,
just
to
saying
keep
it's
on the
just
train, yeah.
keep on
It's
the
their-
train.
It's their ticket to the next stop, basically.
They saw Ezra Miller choke a bitch and still be the Flash. They're like, man, I'm not taking
Oh,
and
Yeah.
Wayne Brady might have to choke a bitch. So he's thinking, you know what? Maybe come out as pan. Maybe I can, in case this pimp shit doesn't work.
right.
Well-
and I mean,
But
theoretically,
pan means anything.
if you look at it from a certain angle, if you say, anybody who says, wow, that dude's really handsome, whether it's, if they
Ugh.
feel excited by that or not, like
Oh, wow.
you can say somebody like me talking about Ryan Gosling, right? Dude is alpha male, no question. Like as far as his physical appearances, dude is alpha male. Does that
Mhm.
make me pansexual? No, not really.
Yes,
But in their mind, in their mind, it would, because
Right.
I found him to be like the perfect specimen.
you're not kidding. They have a
Chris
what is it?
Hemsworth or whatever.
They think it's a spectrum that like everyone's gay, but it's a spectrum of gayness because that's how
Right,
they view
right.
the world.
Mhm.
Uh,
Also with the pansexual,
Juice.
it's because there's more than two genders out there. You have
That's
everything
true,
from
Supposedly.
the demi-queer, pagan witch,
Zer, Zig, Zer.
Zer,
Yeah.
right, whatever it is, they just attack helicopter, whatever it is. So, because you
Juice.
got the Heinz 57 of quote unquote
Right.
genders.
And in the
It's
end,
gotta
it's
be,
all
you can't
bullshit.
have, basically bullshit. It's like, okay, you like rubbing off to a guy as much as a girl. Okay, yeah, we got it. Okay, you
Right.
take it up the tailpipe for the team. You'll take a banana up the tailpipe for Lizzo. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, at the end of the day, saying pansexual isn't like, to me, it isn't like all that committal, like, or committing to the scenario. Like, you're just saying it to say it. Like, if he really wanted to say something, he would have said bisexual.
Oh, shit.
Right.
Right.
But
Right?
that doesn't
But he
have
didn't.
no. What doesn't have the impact anymore? They got
Right.
these fancy
okay.
names.
But to those who don't buy into the 57 flavors or whatever,
Right.
like coming out as pansexual means absolutely fuck all to me. Like, I don't give a shit. You're gonna rub your dick on a fucking inanimate object? Go right ahead, dude. Just do it at home.
Mhm.
What's up, Monkey Jeebus? Monkey Jeebus says pansexual is used for characters who want to fuck aliens too. Wow.
Yeah, that's what they said with Lando because he wanted to fuck a droid.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little bit more information than we all needed, Juice.
Yeah.
We still,
Well, I
we
mean,
still love you, but
to be
And yet-
honest,
yeah.
there are dudes already fucking inanimate objects.
Yeah.
I've seen
In the
that
world.
shit.
You know, the sex toys that
Mhm.
do their thing and
Oh,
whatever.
God, that's right.
Yep.
That's
So-
right. Socks,
Man.
yeah, it means maybe. It does mean it means question mark. I don't know. He might fuck a pan. Or again, I mean, he's probably into guys, and he just wants to keep up with the cool kids.
And then he
You
said,
try
"Let me
to
get in
figure
on
out
that."
No.
Oh
Don't go to
shit!
the dark side.
Oh, Juice, that's my brother right there. He funny as hell, man. What's up, Juice?
No.
It's
Oh,
ma'am.
shit.
No, Juice. Don't do it.
Right. I mean,
He said it's
and as if you read the subtitle too, it's funny. Like, I love all people equally, and now that includes myself. Okay, so like if you try to dissect that, it's like, okay, so you masturbate because you're loving yourself,
Right.
and
Never thought of it that way.
you'll happily masturbate to whatever's in front of you. Okay, like again, it's so non-committal. It's almost like just a.
I am never turning the Golden Girls on again.
Oh, that's gross.
It's the Arthur High.
But I mean, honestly, like we said, he's married with a kid, so obviously he was into that poontang at some point.
right.
Well,
That's yeah. That's what
ex-wife.
Yeah.
Ex-wife.
Okay, so I had an ex-wife too, right? I didn't have kids with my ex-wife. He did.
Hey, there's the happy family. There's Wayne, his ex-wife, their daughter, and his boy toy.
what?
No, that's not what that says. Don't make
partner.
presumptions.
Ex-wife.
It's
and
her
partner.
boyfriend.
Oh,
Her partner. So she
okay,
left him for Snoop Dogg or whatever.
Yeah, she. Okay. Oh, sorry. I thought I read that wrong.
She didn't like the
Well,
dark
she
chocolate
traded
so
down.
much. She wanted the lighter chocolate.
She
It's all
traded
good.
down. She traded.
Oh, Jesus.
But I mean, like, whatever. Have they done something? Maybe. I don't care. At this point, I really don't give a shit. Like, if he choffs somebody's dick,
Listen, is that his
care.
daughter or is that girl?
This is his
I
daughter
think
right here.
that's his daughter.
And
Okay.
this is his former wife, and that's who she's shagging, I guess now.
Oh,
Sorry,
what
for
the
some reason I
fuck is
thought that
going
was
on here?
they were partners, but okay, I read wrong. My
Oh,
apologies.
you looking at all kind of stuff over there, Vidge. I ain't mad at you.
Looking at all kinds. I'm not looking at anything. I'm looking at nonsense.
He's interested in that right there. The former.
No, I'm trying to like the genetics don't look like they quite transferred. I'm sorry. I don't want to say.
No.
Listen, we've already been pretty racist with the whole dark chocolate, light chocolate thing. I'm not going to go any further.
What do you mean we? What do you mean we, Kimosabi?
Yeah. What do you mean, you people?
I don't know what's going on. Usually they say whether mother's baby, father's maybe. This is one of the few times I would question that because I'm like, wait a second.
I
Okay,
see what you're saying.
I mean, honestly,
Maybe that's.
if you look at the daughter, she's obviously a little darker than the mother,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that comes into play. She definitely has
Her
more
father's eyes.
Um,
Because she doesn't have her mother's is what I'm trying to say.
well, I think
Yeah.
it's a mix of the two. Like,
Yeah.
they're not open wide, like an Anglo individual would be. So I think there's a bit of both. Like, I wouldn't, if I seen the three of them together, I wouldn't necessarily question that she was the production of the
I
two of
would
them
think-
doing something.
If I saw the three of them together, I would think, oh man, Wayne Brady really was pimping. And he just got a couple of his ladies of the night walking with him. Like, man, that Dave Chappelle sketch, they say they be talking real stuff in the sketch. This guy is still pimping out here. What in the world? And I wouldn't even know. And then she, they say black don't crack. Apparently Asian ain't Swasian because she, again, doesn't look like she's old enough to have a daughter as old as that daughter.
Oh, they can look young for I don't know how long.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, that's a typical characteristic of Asian
But sometimes
females. Or
they
Asians
can,
in
and
general.
sometimes they can't. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends on where they're at too. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the wall comes later than say an American or a European. Like it's in the process somewhere, and it's typically with Asian women, it's a cliff. It's not a gradual progression downward. It's just, wow, you look really good. Oh my God, what the fuck happened? like it's that quick, like 1 year, and suddenly they're 80-year-old Asian woman. You know, when they were, wow, you still look like you're 50 a year earlier. You know,
sweet stuff, white man. Oh boy, this is going.
And I'm going to take this moment here. For all those who wish to write letters of complaint, please send them to the Primetime Kings in care of 21st Century Media.
I don't think we haven't gone that bad. I don't think. I mean, discussing genealogy within this group is,
but but the thing is we got a snowflake that comes and listens. They're going to go,
sentient dildo. What's going on, brother?
Yeah,
show
Miss
Barney
combo.
Yeah, he's going to turn us in. He's the first one to write that letter.
Yeah, man. Miss you, sentient, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, good to see you, brother. Man, I'd like to say what's up to Keely Chow, too, man. Roll Tide, brother. Hopefully everything's good with you, man. Shit. We got Zax in the house. Appreciate you, Zax.
What I do find interesting in that quote underneath the image is it's not her new husband, it's her partner.
Right.
So who knows?
Man. And it's weird that he's not close to her. He's actually closer to Wayne than her. Man, he's highly that's why I
thought when I read that
Hollywood's a weird place, man. And crazy shit goes down. So maybe that's why. Maybe, you know, he likes the new boyfriend a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying?
They're a little too cool.
Like, yeah, they just little too. They're just like the best of buddies. Yeah, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Listen, all shit aside, because you know it is. I'm commenting on what another man does in his bedroom. That's his business. Wayne Brady, you know, whatever Wayne Brady wants to do, that's on him. I think some of this is for the whole. You know, it's just people. I know it's an actor strike, but people still want to get in where they fit in, and I get that.
Well,
so that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing.
To add fuel to the fire, if you read the paragraph above, Wayne Brady is doing a reality series with said individual at the bottom. You know, about their blended family.
This is marketing, man.
I mean,
oh wow,
dude is obviously into Pooh Nanny because he just had a baby with Wayne's ex-wife.
We're actually bitching about multiracial women, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're not even doing that.
And apparently shitting on the genetics of white women. That we did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I didn't do it though. I didn't start it. I didn't. Don't blame
truth
me.
hurts. Truth hurts.
So.
Oh shit, man! Y'all, please hit the like button. This is too funny. I appreciate y'all, man.
Well, and speaking back to the whole, you know, do you do things to further your career or not? Obviously, he needed to put his face out there before the series goes live.
Right.
So now he's like, "Hey, I'm pansexual. Watch my new show."
Yeah.
Watch my new show. Here's a little promo pic with the new boyfriend and the daughter and everybody. So here's the whole cast, and won't you check us out on? Thank you, People. Shout out to his agent who called People Magazine and got this shit done. Shout out to Wayne Brady's agent, because that's how this shit happens. Some agent says, you know what, Wayne Brady we're working on this show. We're developing this this reality show. I'm gonna get to the people at People. You know, we're gonna need a little bit of some hot sauce for you, Wayne. Just tell him I'm paying. Okay, yeah, that works. There you go. Wow. There you go.
You know, it's crazy because Sox says a year from now, Wayne Brady will come out and say that he's full blown gay.
They need to get the second season done, probably.
Oh.
Or maybe if the attitude change, it's going to go, well, you know, I'm done with that experimental phase of my life. I'm back to chasing them.
And like that's never happened before.
Oh, never at
all. A number of artists have done that shit.
The late Anne Heche.
Well, yeah. But even in the music industry, who was the one that Demi Lovato? Was she the one? She was having all kinds of issues in her life. So
oh wow, yeah.
We won't go down that road. But
I'm just tired of trying to explain to everybody what my pronouns are. So I'm just gonna go back to
what shit? You know,
change them weekly.
I know it's shit, but you know, but Vigilante says she'll still get it.
Demi?
Well,
Depends on when. Because there was a point where no, she would not. When she was bald headed and she had some weight, it wasn't the weight. Listen, I could deal with a chick with weight and short hair.
Right.
She just had a sick look to her. I'm like, oh no, you just come off.
Yeah,
I'm an energy reader too. Like it ain't just all about looks. Your energy matters. So when your energy seems toxic, I don't care how big the backside is. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't care enough to fuck my life up.
Well, I mean, but come on, she does sing the ghosts. She does.
Kai said what I was going to say about Anne Heche, because that video of her after her accident is creepy as fuck. Her trying to get out,
right?
Yeah,
creepy as shit. So thank you, Kai, for not making. So I don't have to be the only one who goes conspiracy theory all the time. I appreciate it. But seriously, watch that video. Tell me what you guys think. That's fucking nuts.
All right. I'll do that
now. But okay.
No, but let me ask y'all this. This Monkey Jeebus says, so pansexual is just to save face from being called the cuck, like asking the question. What do y'all think? You think that's why he's doing it, or it's just that he's really full blown?
When it comes to individuals
taking the D
who like being called a cuck, because cucks don't take anything. They don't take the D or the P. They just want to watch and get humiliated.
Well, the only thing they take is pictures, just like Will Wheaton.
Wow. I'm not even going to question that.
You know what though? Some guys are into it. I'm not gonna go too far down this hole.
Right, but that's what I was saying. Like that, a cuck is a very, very small sliver of a very weird demographic.
There are these guys who they'll look for a third. How about that? Is that the best way of putting it? You know what I mean? And that third may be another guy, and they're cool with it.
But that's not necessarily being a cuck.
That's not quite the same,
right? Because a cuck only wants demeaning interaction. It's almost like a sub and a dom sub relationship.
Okay,
but the sub part is watching your significant other get railed by some other dude.
Man, that Adam 22 situation was I'm not sure if everyone knows who he is.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Anything you watch, and you're right, Cincha, everybody does want to be special. But anything you watch with him, you can tell he was definitely into it. Like he seemed like he wanted it more than she did. And that was really creepy. So there definitely is something that they get something off of that. I don't know, man. It couldn't be me.
Oh no.
I got a one wiener rule to, like, the prevalence of porn in an individual's upbringing. Like, if you watch porn, you're effectively being the cuck watching porn because you're watching two other people go at it. Now, there's no direct relation with either of the individuals when you're watching porn. You don't know either of them, but it's that seed that starts it. Like, I can't get off unless I'm watching someone else do it. And because you have a significant other, she's part of that equation, and that's kind of like the situation with Adam 22. It's like he can't get off until he sees his significant other from a third person perspective.
Man, that's crazy. And you're right, man. That's why you gotta listen. I know everybody likes the hub, man. You gotta at least watch the hub less, man. If you can't get off of it, watch it less. That shit's evil, man. I know, a lot of feminists rail on it. You just immediately want to ignore whatever a feminist says. You probably should. But like, there is something too. There's some unhealthiness about porn, and this is funny from Socks. It says I knew a white woman said she would never have sex with a black man, and one day she tried it when full-blown sex craves for black man. The saying was true: once you go black, you never go back. Cannot confirm or deny. That's a creepy vibe, though. That's the white girl that likes black guys only. It's always a creepy vibe. Never comfortable, man. I can't.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing with that is you
racialized fetishism.
It came about, again, if you lean back into porn for a bit, like all the black men in porn are
doing okay.
Yeah, they're not hurting for size. But in all honesty, there are white dudes that are the same size also in the industry. So it's not necessarily a specific demographic. It's chance, basically. You could have a massive member or you may not. And it doesn't matter what background you come from. There are black dudes with tiny dicks out there. There's no question about that. There are white dudes with tiny dicks. There are Asian dudes who mostly have small dicks. It just is. But I mean, like, you kind of wrap that quote into porn and go, okay, yeah, because every fucking dude in porn who's black has a fucking 14-inch dick. Okay, sure.
Since you did, I'm wondering the same thing.
If she had sex with a dude with a tiny dick that would happen to be black, she wouldn't be so sex crazed. She had the big dick, and it was.
I'm not that.
She associated that. Well, you understand where I'm coming from.
I know what you're talking about, but I just didn't expect. Like, yeah, Wade Brady's pansexual dick size. I was like, wow, this is a lot.
Right. But I mean, and also speaking to the whole cuck thing, like, it's such a tiny sliver of a broader problem that, like to say he's getting cucked is one thing. Adam 22 is definitely getting cucked. I wouldn't necessarily say Wayne Brady was cucked in this scenario.
No.
I mean, obviously he's not with his wife. He's got a girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever. But like, it just is what it is. It's a scenario that played out.
Wow. All right, well,
we're getting a real weird area here, folks.
Well, not really. I mean, I think people that were friends of mine who divorced, but were still because of family, they were so close.
No, that's not the weird part. All the penis
and talking about the cuck and penis and cuck.
Yeah.
And cuck, yeah. I mean, I'm still on good terms with my former wife. So, I mean,
right. And
yeah,
some people are like that. They can get along with an ex. I was never like that.
I feel like when you have kids, you almost have to at least try, right?
Well, yeah, you have to for the kid. Absolutely.
And I mean, I can't get along. Well, no, I had some exes I could get along. It just depends. There's some exes I couldn't. If I saw them, it'd be like on site. But then there's some
it'd be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, how you doing? Hope you're healthy and stuff. And you wouldn't even care.
Right. And my mentality is specifically built off of my experiences.
Yeah.
I've had exes that I could get along with, but because of what happened post breakup, it just I don't want to fucking see you anymore at this point. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I want to be your friend. No, you don't. You want to have the guy on the side that if anything goes sideways with your current relationship, you can fall back on. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I could be friendly. There was one ex I could be friendly with because we still have stuff in common. Oh yeah, hey, you see this show? Oh yeah, I saw it. But yeah, I get it. That's a thing. Got to watch out for that. Got to watch out for the infamous friend zone. And then going back to the racialized fetishization. I don't know if it's just white man. I think it's everyone with Asian chicks at this point. But I get the point. I think everyone's. I mean, look, Wayne Brady. He had one himself, and look how that worked out.
Right.
So watch out. Standing up for black dudes for years. Now they can lay down. Like that one chick in Portland, I think what was it? OnlyFans model dancing in the nude for protest. And I don't think she knew what was going on. But
right, she had no idea what the protest even was. She was just trying to drum up business.
Yeah.
Well, are we talking about other men's?
I don't know. I wish we're here. Hey, Pacific 414.
What's up, Pacific?
Mike.
That's good, Kai.
Good.
He said,
and that's fortunate, that was the case for Kai, because not everybody has that, scenario.
It depends on the situation. Because there's a couple I'm like, man, I hope I never see ever again. And I'm in different states, I won't. But well, shit, that would be so awkward if I ever saw any of my exes. Now that I live in Houston, because I'm like, how the hell did you get here? Why?
Why did you get here?
Why are you here?
Right.
Thousands of miles away from you. Why did you get here?
I'd be nice. I'm not going to bring up an incident.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'd be nice. I'm not going to do it. I'll leave it somebody else to do it.
Socks, on your question about how come there isn't a reality show on Who Wants to Be a Female Porn Star, it's called Casting Couch.
Yeah, and actually, they did do something like that on X Hamster.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There was a whole website dedicated to Casting Couch.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, there was a show called Casting Couch, and I have whatever left of the show recorded.
Sure you do.
And it was actually a producer that would bring these girls in and make them do, they don't give a fuck what color they are, whatever, make them do all kind of shit, show their titties, do all kind of things. And it was really what the show was. And it was so dicey that the actual big networks never picked it up.
Well, of course not. No.
Yeah.
Not in the U.S. I mean, I could see something like that maybe if they didn't show everything happening.
But it was pitched out here.
I know back in the day, though. I mean, it's not at Showtime, Stars, HBO, and all that stuff is not at where it once was. But back in the day, they would show something risky. Like, didn't they do something on the Bunny Ranch from one of those networks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a reality show.
Yeah, so
they never really showed anything. It was just talking mostly to the
they
females.
Showed a little bit. Like they didn't show. Like some.
There were cameras, like hidden cameras, in some of the rooms, but it never got to the point where you seen like actual stuff happening. It was mostly the build up to it. The teasing and whatever.
I thought maybe I saw this on the. I could have swore there was a show and you saw a little bit of. I remember seeing the girl's ass. That's why I'm like, oh shit. You would see a titty, you would see an ass cheek. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe that's all it was. Maybe you're right that they didn't show any penetration or anything. But they showed nudity, and maybe that's why I'm just getting it.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is look at like all of the Big Brother stuff. Look at the American versions, and then look at the Australian and European versions.
Oh yeah.
What's acceptable?
Holy shit.
Like it's funny because Europeans and people outside the US tend to be a bit more accepting of that.
Right.
So you see a bit more on their versions of the shows. And I know the Australian one, like they were having a hard time because the government wanted them to just cut it out. Yeah. And they were like, nah, like you need to change laws if you want us to stop.
That's ironic because Australia. Oh, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine. No, and I was going to speak to that. Like Australia tends to be very conservative.
Yeah.
But there was this whole flip in politics, and now they're mostly liberal in their mindset.
I think they're still pretty because and maybe this is just an anti-male sexuality thing if you're looking from a limbo lens, but they have very recently been very anti-prawn. They were infamously anti-anime, not just hentai, but any anime of anything. We're talking about accepting of nudity in general.
Right.
And that was the more conservative time frame, because that was a time where games were banned.
Yeah, that
were acceptable in the U.S. and in Europe and wherever else. Like they were really locked down for a while. And then
the past 5-10 years. I mean, maybe it's changed in the past 2 or 3. I haven't been keeping up as much. I know they went crazy with the Koof.
Well, because they went all fucking Gestapo on their citizens with COVID and all that.
Oh yeah.
What's up, Kai? Appreciate you, man.
Says we're good people. It's precisely why.
Yeah. Thank you.
Despite your best efforts, Stitch Dildo, you're actually a decent human. I know you're trying your damnedest.
He said, Kai, if you were a good judge of character, you wouldn't hang around here. I was like, oh, ain't that some shit? I thought that was funny, man. I was like, y'all crazy. Appreciate you, Kai.
Yeah, appreciate you, Kai. Appreciate you too. You Stitch Dildo. You appreciate all you guys. Socks. Zax was here. Everyone in the chat. Little worried about your juice with the chair and stuff, but we still love you. And everybody else, Long Suffering, Monkey Jeebus, Keely, obviously, Roll Tide, and everybody else who's watching this live on the playback for Festus. Oh man, Loki was here, and I'm scrolling through everything. Right? Everybody.
And this is the other thing too. Like especially when coming from the porn industry, what's believable, what's not. Like the porn industry has a really hard time pulling off the reality show, so to speak. A lot of when the Playboy Network was a thing, they tried to do that, and everybody was just calling like, this is bullshit, this is all scripted. Because you'd have women who were in the industry on these shows, and it completely pulls the reality out of it. Like, I seen this chick doing X work outside of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know she's into the whole industry. So how am I supposed to buy into the fact that she's,
all
maybe,
tamed and
maybe
shit.
not on it? Yeah, like it just throws the reality out the window at that point.
Yeah, she's
Right.
all tamed and she's all chilled and shit. And he was like, "Nah, I just seen you got buck wild and
Right.
on
I
this
seen-
tape here, yeah."
I seen every hole filled more than one time. And even at the same time, like, nah, bitch, you ain't that saintly.
Lisa Sparks? Oh, okay.
I've never been a prime because I don't know anyone's name. Like the only prime person I remember was Pinky back in the day.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well,
And Jenna, everyone knew Jane Jameson, but I don't really.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well, I only
couldn't do it.
knew of her because she's got the world's record for betting the most amount of guys, and
Oh no!
it's like
But see,
900
and-
some guys.
Oh boy!
What? And that's
Okay,
over
well-
a period of time, like
Like a day. A couple hours, so many hours.
couple
fuck.
hours.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
just
yeah,
got-
and-
10 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah, and I think,
Wow.
matter of fact,
It
they
was-
they had to put like some cold, like stuff on her coochie to like,
Mhm.
This
because
is crazy.
because she was getting pounded out so much they had to they
Well, I
had to-
think the guys. I
that
think
that
the
wasn't
guys-
Jenna Jameson. That was Alexis Texas, and that's it.
But
There was a
Lisa-
video of that.
Well, they got a video of that spark. I haven't seen it, but I just heard about it. And I
Of
guess
course.
it was like they only gave her they only allow 7 pumps of the guy, and they have to move on. And that's how they cheat.
Right, and
Even
to
still.
actually count that, like 7 pumps, like the dude doesn't even get off in most
No.
cases, and like, is that truly like you had sex with, or you stuck some strange things in you? Like,
Depend. If you were number one, maybe the 7 pumps could get it done. But by number 400, you're not feeling anything.
right?
Yeah.
You know, if you're
It's more
number
the
one,
situation than anything else.
It's been a minute. Maybe 7 is enough. But like,
Mhm.
godly, 7 times 900 is a big ass. What's that? 6,300 pump.
Thousand.
Jesus Christ, ma'am. That's not. What are you doing? I'm sure you. Listen. I hate to say because watches the father that touched her, but I'm sure your father's proud of that. I'm sure your mother's very proud that that's what their daughter was able to make. Is
In
that
today's
role.
day and age, it's
Probably,
not,
right?
not so black
I mean,
and white. It's very gray area.
well, let me ask you this: is this any worse than this one chick I seen that was like going into like homeless camps and just blowing off all the homeless dudes?
But see,
You know what I'm saying?
that goes down the road of, is it believable or not? Like, we're getting back to the whole reality thing.
Oh, I mean,
This is
if
community
you
service.
look really hard, well,
and that was within the last like year or so. Like this is like this ain't no old
Yeah.
shit. This is new shit.
you have to be really keen on who the quote unquote homeless were, because if
man.
if you're wise to who's who in the industry, you'd be looking at me like,
you're right.
hey, that's so and so from this other website. Like, so the homeless dude is made up to look like a homeless dude, and it's not really the case.
He's a homeless dude on hard times, and he's just.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, $20 is $20.
This is. We have gone down a rabbit hole. A rabbit
Ladies and
hole.
gentlemen,
here.
we're
A hole.
back.
But it's definitely a hole. We're just not sure
All
which
right.
hole.
Jesus.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We can skip on to the next one, man.
Please.
all right.
For the love of all this.
Now, all right. How about
Good
this,
work.
Vigilante? The next one's on you. Now you get to pick Ninja
Oh.
Turtle, Superman.
Superman.
All right,
Superman.
there you go.
Let's go with Superman.
There we go. This is from the comicbookmovie.com.
Oh, they're
Uh,
always
it-
accurate.
No. Well, no. It ain't that. It was just the fact of what they were saying here about the concept art. I figured, you
Right.
could check it out, see what it's
Yeah.
looking.
So this is written by Mark Cassidy, and that was on the 10th of this month. And they go, we're not sure if this is legit, but some, supposedly, leaked
All right.
Superman Legacy concept art may give us our first glimpse at James Gunn's character design for the Man of Steel and Hawkgirl. Updated.
So basically, take this with a grain of salt.
Right.
Hawkgirl's supposed to be in the new Superman.
Yeah, you know who plays her?
They already got it casted.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
matter of fact, they have. Oh, if you don't know, I can tell you what's going on. They got. All right, this is Superman, right? They got
Yeah.
Lois Lane casted. She looks like Lois Lane. They got Metamorpho.
Metamorphosis maybe one of the villains. Okay.
No, he's a hero.
He's a hero.
Yeah, he
Anti-hero, whatever.
he was a part of he started off well, he was out in the 60s and the first time he got really known was in the 80s when he joined Batman in the group called The Outsiders. There was a book called Batman and the Outsiders, and it was Metamorpho, Katana, Geoforce, Halo, and that was the first time you saw like Katana, Geoforce, and Halo, and Metamorphos from the 1960s. So they kind of, but he's a version. He's called the Elemental Man, so he could basically turn into something water, liquid, gas, and he's like a white face with like a half orange body, half purple, and yeah, so that's what he is. Man.
They had a version of him. He wasn't that though. He didn't have the description, but I feel like they had a version of him in Justice League, and he wasn't. He was maybe it wasn't the best guy, but maybe I'm thinking.
But you might have seen him in Justice League, bro. So you might have seen
trans
him there.
superhero. You're not wrong.
So basically, Hawk Girl is played by the chick that she's played by the chick that did the live action Dora the Explorer.
Okay,
her name is Isabella something. She's like 22 years old now, if I'm not mistaken. So when she did Dora, she was like 18, 19. Okay. That was back in that was like 2019, 2020. So she's like 22 years old, but she's like 5'1" or some shit like that. And that's so she's small as fuck.
Huh.
But she looks,
which doesn't really play into the whole Hawk Girl thing.
Yeah. Right.
So I mean, I'm in a weird place. Out of all messages to keep on my face,
please. So basically, they got Metamorpho, Hawk Girl that's going to be in this movie. So you got Metamorpho, Hawk Girl. You have you have Mr. Terrific. From when
this sounds like they're already doing too much. Why are they putting so many fucking characters in this fucking movie?
And they also have Guy Gardner.
Yeah, so
that's going to be the Green Lantern they pick.
The asshole Green Lantern. Yeah, because James Gunn always has an asshole in every movie, so he's going to be he's the dickhead of them all. So
it's what's the guy that they wanted to be Hal Jordan for years? What's the actor's name? Oh fuck! It's the guy that was on Firefly. Nathan Fillion.
Nathan Fillion.
So they're having Nathan Fillion do Guy Gardner instead of Hal Jordan, which pains me to no end.
And Nathan Fillion actually portrays Hal Jordan in all the animated movies and cartoons and shit like that.
He's done the voice multiple times,
Right. But James Gunn casts him in everything. So basically, he was the hero of Slither. You remember the movie Slither?
Yeah.
That was James Gunn's first movie. Mm-hmm. and he's the star of Slither. So everything that James Gunn has done, this guy either has some part, whether it's big or small. So this is the guy that basically has been following James Gunn for like the last 15 years in James Gunn's about 15, 20 years in James Gunn's film history, that he's been a part of everything James Gunn has ever been a part of. He was even in his last Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah.
And he was in the Suicide Squad, and he's been in everything, man.
Okay, so I haven't I know what he looks like or whatever, but I haven't noticed him in everything. But then again, I don't like James Gunn's movies. So
but then again, every part is not like a leading role. Sometimes he just like maybe a guest appearance. Like if you look for him, you'll see him, and if you don't know that it was him, that he'll pass you right through because he got makeup on or some bullshit. But he's still a part of everything this guy fucking does.
Yeah,
some way.
When James Gunn did Suicide Squad, he was only in the opening scenes.
Right.
And that was it. Like, he doesn't always have a primary role.
Right, exactly.
But he makes sure to put him in at least something.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You know what? Hey, if you can, that's so much better than a number of other actors who just kind of have to, audition for their roles. Like, if he knows, hey, I know James is going to get me some work, fuck it. You need to get paid, right?
Right.
I
So,
think that's cool.
So basically, you got 4 heroes other than Superman and Superman's, Lois Lane, Perry White, Ma and Pa Kent, Jimmy Olsen. Other than them, you got this whole fucking team of superheroes, and you trying to come off telling Superman's first story out there in the DCU, which is supposed to be the starting point of where this new, DC universe is supposed to start.
Yeah.
So basically, we can't even get a Superman movie by himself. It's Superman and these team of heroes there, and it's like,
I mean, I will say this to be the devil's advocate.
Right.
Like everybody complained about like the more recent Marvel stuff, and it's like, why didn't anybody help? Fuck. Now I'm fucking losing my mind again. Still half awake. Nick Fury out during Secret Invasion. Why were there no superheroes? Well, he needed to have this story by himself and blah blah blah. And it's like it doesn't work in the universe. Like when you have a situation comes up that's too much to handle, you have other people in the universe that should be there. Bare minimum, the newest Captain America, Black Falcon, whatever you want to call him. Like somebody should have shown up. And when you don't have that, it seems awkward. So, we don't know how much we're going to see of these people. It could be just a glimpse. And then later on down the line, you'll see, a Justice League movie where you get that fleshed out a bit more because they're all there. Gunn is notorious for saying, hey, I've got all these actors lined up for roles in especially Suicide Squad. And the whole first team is dead except for Harley Quinn and what's his name?
Yeah, it's like a handful survive and but they go in there like 10, 15 strong. And then all of a sudden they all get mowed down to where like a handful exists at the very end. But the thing is with James Gunn is to me, he can't write a movie about one person. Everything he fucks with has to be a group of motherfuckers, man. And I don't like that shit. So basically, why does Superman and however which way the script is written, why would Superman need all these other fucking superheroes, man? And then of course Nathan Fillion's 44 years old. Would you cast him as Guy Gardner, but Henry Cavill's 39 and he can't even be Superman no more. So, it's a whole bunch of bullshit, man. I don't know. It's Guy Gardner, and then if you think about everybody else, you got the smart black guy, you got the the asshole Green Lantern, you have Hawk Girl, which is she's a reincarnation, but she's Hispanic. Don't you see what's going on here? Is Nathan Fillion going to have red hair, and if so, then he's probably going to be I don't know. James Gunn probably have him with like light brown hair or some shit to where it's like he's the variant of Guy, not so much. Yeah.
Will he have the goofy hair?
Right. Or will he have like a push up, like a flat top? Because Guy Gardner has had both. He's had the fucking mole from the Three Stooges kind of haircut, the chili bowl, or he's had his hair, with a fade, but up like in some kind of like style,
a military cut.
Right, exactly. So who knows what?
Well, I mean, and following Nathan Fillion and being a fan of him, I would think he'd be willing to do a lot of that stuff.
Right.
Like I don't think he would ever say no to anything because
it's all makeup. It's
right. And as far as his career is concerned, he hasn't been an A-lister.
No.
So, when you're kind of riding the edge of Hollywood, you'll do certain things. I don't want to make this sound really bad, but like you'll agree to dyeing your hair red. You'll agree to having it cut a certain way or whatever.
Right.
So I mean, I don't necessarily see Nathan Fillion being a problem. Who he's cast as is probably a bigger problem, and that's not his fault.
Yeah, of course.
Now, And again, speaking to we have no idea what the script is at all, and just like he was in Marvel, they're going to be super tight-lipped about it, and you might get little glimpses of something on his Twitter, but you're not going to get like big spoilers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the most we can hope for is there's interactions, and then that's it. And it focuses on Superman. That would be the best scenario. Right. Maybe a scenario where, if Hawkgirl is considered another prime actor in the movie, maybe it's her that gets into some shit and Superman has to help out, which would make sense considering power levels and everything else.
Right.
Hawkgirl isn't exactly uber crazy powerful, but she is capable. And if she gets in a scenario where, shit, I can't handle this, I can understand seeing Superman show up like, it's all right, I got this. Like, it's good.
Let me ask you, anybody ever watch Justice League Unlimited? How about you, Vidge?
Yeah, I love that show. I love. I consider Justice League to be one long show, even though it was 72.
Now wasn't let's say Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl was on the same team? Was Mr. Terrific a part of that?
Yeah, he was on Justice League Unlimited. He wasn't on the original.
And Hawkgirl was a part of the team too, right?
Yep, she ended up coming back to the team.
And I think Metamorpho was a part of that too, right?
He might have been. They had a lot of different characters.
Yeah. Because I think they had like 40 characters, and then they would rotate them out, and you'd see
mostly in the background. There's a lot of characters that never even had an episode.
Right,
Man.
But they were just there in scenery.
Yeah,
right. And if I'm not mistaken, and y'all can correct me, I think Hawkgirl was a very popular character amongst the fans.
Yeah, she was one of the. She was in the original Justice League series.
Right.
So in that world, she was an original Justice League member.
Right, and I think through the popularity of that, I think that's why we're seeing her in this movie.
Well, I haven't commented because Cincha Dildo had to comment. I don't care. I'm not watching this. You're talking. I am in no way exaggerating. I have more interest in the Barbie movie than this. Wow. Legitimately.
You
don't care at all. I don't like anything James Gunn. I hate Guardians. That's the best thing. Everyone loves Guardians. I hate it. So I don't like James. The whole premise of James Gunn being the head of DC means I'm not gonna watch the Suicide Squad one with John Cena. It was entertaining, but that's all he knows how to make, and I don't want to see that 12 times. I can't wait till DC does what DC does and cancels him and gets rid of him and has the 15th guy try to do DC, and hopefully he'll do it not fucked up. I'll wait 5 years until James Gunn fucks everything up, and by then we'll see what the new guy does. I am already past this. So we can talk. Don't know, don't care. I'm not gonna watch Superman Legacy. I don't even want to watch the Batman. I did see the Batman fight scenes from the Flash. Those were actually really cool.
Yeah, actually, I thought they did. I think Batman, he was kicking that ass.
He was kicking ass, and they used the CG to have old man Bruce do all that cool shit. They had a few callbacks. Asking how much do you weigh? I'm like, that's a callback to the original movie. So that was cool. And just seeing Batman in that costume do kick ass things, that was cool. I wish they were doing that. DC has passed all the good ideas that I want. Even though I wasn't the biggest Batfleck fan, I wanted the Batfleck movie. Well, they're not doing that. Okay, so they're not going to do the Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton either. Okay, well, not gonna have Henry Cavill as Superman, even though you brought him back for Black Adam. Okay, well, this is all the stuff I wanted. You're not doing that. You're picking a guy whose movies I don't like to fuck up a bunch of movies I can't watch. I don't want to watch. There's nothing to appeal to me. There's nothing for me to appeal with but these characters. Well, there's an S on his chest. You're supposed to buy. No, I'm not. I like basketball and football. I'm not buying NBA 2K and I'm not buying Madden, no matter how much I like these sports and how I love to play the games. I'm not doing it. A lot of people will. People will, and that's your business. But I'm not doing it. So, they can put 150 characters in this. They had their chances multiple times to make a competent universe. They fucked it up at every turn, and they're going to continue to fuck it up. And now it seems like no matter how bad Marvel gets, DC says, well, we got to be worse. If DC was even the Pimp Joker Suicide Squad DC right now, they would be beating Marvel. But they can't even get to that level.
Man, that was my Joker, man. Gangster Joker. Oh, man, I love that motherfucker, especially when he was getting ready to put that electricity. He was like, oh, like he was just like, wow, fucking, like he was like, I don't know, I just didn't like the gold teeth and the tats. But if they would have scrubbed that and kept him the way he was, because Joker acts like that. He's like there's some parts, there's some times where he's cool, and then there's some times where he's actually like he's like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, and he was to me, he seemed like he was a mixture between Heath Ledger's Joker and Jack Nicholson's Joker. Like he was cool and suave, but could turn it up on your ass and be that maniacal, crazy dipshit. You know, and dude, yeah, man, I think he. Yeah,
well, I like the performance, but like you said, I hated the teeth and all the tattoos and all. I thought that was all unnecessary. It's like keep the Joker at least classical in that aspect.
When they took it off of him for that extra scene in the Snyder Cut, he was okay. Right. I thought, you know what?
I thought that was cool.
These guys go at it, him and Batfleck. They were kind of having their back and forth. Like, man, they really should have did something with these two. You know what? As much as, and I'm not the biggest Snyder guy, but the Snyderverse wasn't all bad, man. They had a lot of potential, and it just never. He never really as much. I hate caping for this asshole, but I gotta admit, the Snyder fans are right. He never really got a chance to do his vision. He never got a real chance to complete his vision, and I think that I don't think James Gunn is going to do better. I genuinely don't. They're going to wish they had Snyder's numbers in a few years. All hell Barbie, all hell Ken. Yeah, I care more about the Barbie movie than Superman Legacy. I said it.
Oh shit.
That's what shit stands for.
Well, I tell you what, man. Just for the shits and giggles of it. Let's see what they looking at and for the concept art, so we can at least see what they're trying to put down with that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, right there. Right there. Mm-hmm. Is there any way you can?
I thought that was Cavill.
No,
that's the guy they cast in the concept art.
That's David Cornsweet.
Oh, yeah, I think that. I mean, again, it's all supposedly concept art. I would say fan made.
Yeah, but I think so.
You could do anything in an image nowadays, so you can take 180-pound actor and make him look buff as shit.
Yeah, we just talked about AI, so we're in a different world when it comes to fan art.
Yeah.
I do find it funny that not only did they put Hawk Girl in a position where she looks like a damn midget next to Superman. And actually, if you look at that S on his chest, that totally looks like AI. Like the S isn't even shaped correctly. Like there's
it's weird
shit about it.
Even though we're probably also at a state where studios are going to use AI for concept art too. Yeah,
that's not surprising. But I do find it funny that she's not even to his shoulder.
But you know what? To be real, if he's actually, let's say he's like 6'3" or whatever, she's like and she's 5'1".
Mm-hmm.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, she is, and that's
so why not fucking Hawk Girl.
And that's why everybody was tripping when they found out that they cast her. They're like, "Yo, she's small."
Stop being high-ish, you bigot.
Oh man.
Okay, but obviously in Tom Cruise's movies, they have to place him in a way so you can see both actors' faces when he's talking to somebody.
Right.
He did a movie with him and Cavill. Short. What? Isn't Cavill like 6'4" and Tom was like 5'5"?
Yeah,
5'6". And they made it work.
Not this recent one, the one before that.
Yeah. Because there's that famous little scene where he does the little pump up his arms before he fights.
Yeah, and he moves his shoulders or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, which has no impact on fighting, but it just looked cool in that moment. So it just went viral. Yeah, reported for heightism, bigots.
Reported for heightism.
It's definitely not based off of source material. That's for sure. Like,
Well,
I
you
mean,
know,
everything comics and animated portrayed her as being only slightly shorter than Hawkman.
right,
Yeah.
And Hawkman is supposed to be 6 something, whatever.
Yeah, she's
So
like at least 5'10", 5'8" at the shortest. You know what I mean? She's
Right.
She got some height on her. She's
I
taller
would
than-
I would even put that a little higher because he was
Probably,
considered
yeah.
over 6 foot. So
she's
she
probably
would be close
feet,
to
so
6 foot,
5'11",
right?
6 feet
Right,
herself. Yeah,
Right. So to make her 5'1", Jesus Christ.
I mean, they can give her thick soles.
yeah.
But, I don't know,
Even
man.
Little-
That's like disco platform shoe level of a soul.
You give her some 3-inch soles
Yeah,
plus a
there
ramp.
you go.
You know what I
There
mean?
you
You shoot it on a ramp. You're serious? This is what they've been doing for years. Like we talked
They
about.
do,
Tom
yeah, they
Cruise.
do that shit for Tom Cruise.
They shoot people and other people who aren't
Too
the
tall.
tallest guys or gals.
Right.
They use ramps. They use different Bane even because he's an average height, about 5'9". I think Tom Hardy 5'8", 5'9". But Christian Bale, when they did the Dark Knight, right, he's a guy 6'2", 6'3". So
yeah,
Bane is supposed to be imposing. So some of those fight scenes, he has, he's on a little higher platform or something like that. Or
Oh,
Right.
they shoot it
And-
from an angle. That's what they
Right.
really did a lot with fight
Right.
scenes. They shoot it from the angle. If you notice, I think when he's coming up the steps, I think Bane's on a higher step, so it looks a little like they're closer
More
on height. So they
imposing,
do
yeah.
little tricks of that. So they're going to do that with her, I guess.
do a
wow.
lot of that.
But here's another thing I will say. This is probably fan made, AI made, whatever. But it's
Yeah.
probably also not too far off. I one thing, and we've been talking about men's dongs and prawn, and now this. I don't think Superman's going to have underwear on the outside. I think that's
You don't think so,
gone forever.
man?
Gone forever.
Man, I hope not, man.
Well,
that's
I
the same
know.
thing I was thinking.
He's gone forever. So that's one thing I think they got right on this. Because I think execs think it's too corny. I think execs don't think it's too yes, Stallone's another guy who's pretty short. That's why he's so buff, because he's short. But yeah, I think that the executives think it's too goofy, it's too corny, it's not serious enough. Not forgetting this is a comic book movie, it's not only supposed to be that serious. I think
Right.
one of the biggest mistakes comic book movies made were trying to be grounded, trying to be real, trying to be
Right.
gritty.
Right.
Even with Batman, it's not. It is a fantasy world. It is a fan. There's something, especially the DC world at its core. Even though
Right,
they've grittied up all the characters. You have a polka dot man. You have a,
Right.
you know what I mean. It's supposed to be fun.
Condiment man.
Condiment man. You're supposed to be fun. It's not all serious. Everything isn't all serious.
Right.
So I think they should bring him back, but I don't think that. I think they're gone.
And it's funny too when you speak to that, like the recent Across the Spider-Verse or whatever. As much as that has its issues, the thing that was funny is they didn't, not initially anyway, they didn't take the Spot too seriously.
Mhm.
Like at the very beginning when he first sees him, it's a big joke, like because he's still trying to figure out his powers, and he keeps reaching in, and then like his hand would show up somewhere else and like grab a loaf of bread, and he'd be like, "What the fuck?" And at least they took his initial introduction lightly.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, he's supposed to be the big bad for the final movie, so his powers are going to start to ramp up, and he's going to be a bigger problem later on. But it's nice to see that they could take a character like that, which
Mhm.
in his origin was fairly lighthearted. He was a villain, but still, he's like every other villain that is a B-level villain or whatever.
Yeah, C level. One of those villains like I talked about, kind of more of a, of the time of the 60s, 70s
Right.
comedy type villain.
Exactly. He would fit well on like the 66 Batman series. If they had the technology back then to do some of the trickery with the
They could
cameras.
have did that cheap 60 CG where it'll look all bad. They could have did that,
Like,
which would have been
yeah.
funny actually.
Trying to cut the scene in half so his hand just
Yeah.
shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they could have did some cheesy shit like that.
But I mean, he could have fit in with that group of villains because they were all caricatures of the original villains. Like like Cesar Romero was like, I'll do the part. I'm not shaving my mustache. So they're like,
which is great.
Right, fuck it, just put the makeup over top, and you can see the mustache throughout.
Yes.
Like, it's hilarious.
That stuff added to it, because that I still like the '60s Batman. It holds up once you understand what it's trying to do. It is a spoof. You have to
It's campy.
It's a campy spoof, but it takes itself seriously, and that combination is what makes it so funny and makes it so entertaining.
Right.
And so that's
because none of the scenes are written necessarily to be comedic.
Yeah,
but their delivery of certain lines definitely make it comedic.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so great. Right. And it's it was a of the era thing. You got to also remember when they even launched it. We mentioned Playboy. It came from watching these serials, the 40 serials in the Playboy Mansion, and some execs were just happened to be at that one of these parties where they would do it, and realizing how ridiculous everything looked, but how funny and entertaining it still was. Right. And they were like, oh, so that was always the DNA to kind of have a wink and a laugh with the audience. It wasn't and honestly, they could use some of that stuff back. Some of that, this not necessarily the camp, but just some of the like, this is meant to be fun. That's what made Marvel so good the first few years. Like
the one-liners that everybody in scene is taken completely seriously, but everybody watching is like, oh, that was a horrible line.
Yeah.
But it fits and it works and it's funny. Yeah. People being like completely deadpan face-wise and deliver a line that is completely over the top and ridiculous. Like every time Robin says, his token
Holy
line,
something.
Right? Holy shark bait, Batman, or whatever. Like it's just like what? But and in it's all in the delivery. It's how it's I akin that show a bit, not a lot, but a bit, to what Monty Python did a number of years later, where every single scene, you never see any of them crack. They don't laugh. It's completely played dead straight, but in the most ridiculous scenario, and it works as comedy.
Right.
Definitely.
So, damn. You think? So you think this is going to?
Is there more art, or is this all there is? That's one question.
I don't know. Let's find out here. That's definitely.
Yeah, that was poorly
one. Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That was fan made. Then and we would need more if this was. Because I'm like, it looks AI, but they can still use AI for concept art or rough concept art. But if for this to be legitimate, we would need more shots than that.
Right.
Yeah. Normally, concept art is not just one picture, but it's like variations. People can pick the best. Yeah.
Well, if you're placing them in an environment to look at what they look like, both the concept of the suit and the character and the individual, or individuals in this case, all in a scene at one time, you'd have 30 pictures, and there might be slight changes or whatever. It just screams. And somebody took a picture of it with their phone. Like, really? That's not typically how things get leaked.
Yes, it's the leak. Oh. Like, I had to just use my phone real quick, man.
Yeah, bullshit.
All right, well, I tell you what, man. Shit, let's move on to
on top of that. Who takes a picture from like left field across your monitor?
Right.
That's so retarded. Like if I'm standing in front of my computer or sitting in front of my computer, my photo is going to be squared up with the monitor.
Right.
That's what Sentient said. Right. This was leaked.
Yeah, it was a dribble.
Yeah, that halfway across the. Yeah, I guess they're trying to add to the effect of it being leaked. Well, I was sneaking my phone in, man. I was just there and cleaning up or something, man.
Oh, you know it.
I don't buy that. I've worked at companies where, hey, you can't have your cell phone on you when you're on the production floor. That kind of shit. And
Amazon's like that.
That shit's super tight. like you can't even fuck around and pull a phone out and not get busted.
No.
Like I had a quick pull my phone. Bullshit. If you had your phone on you in the first place, it wasn't that secure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, but as I'm about to. I know I came late and I'm leaving early. So that's sign of hard work, right? But I got to get out of here. I'm getting old. My back. I did walk today. I went for a mile walk in the fucking blistering heat of Houston, which was fucking tough.
Woo.
But my back is like, all right, man, you've been sitting down so long, so I got to get up. I'll be in the chat. Oh, and then I'll be in the chat, and I'll talk to you guys next week. I appreciate you guys having me and being here, man.
You know it, brother.
All right, man.
Definitely there.
Shit, you take it easy,
Glad
brother.
to always
Yeah,
have
you guys
around.
too.
All right, man. Shit, man. Yeah. Hope you feel better, man. My brother.
Yeah. This is more I don't even know what to call it. It's a waste of an article, honestly.
It is. It's clickbait.
Right. Well, like I said, it was. I wanted to see what they had to offer, man. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't looking at this for anything significant, but I wanted to see if this had something to offer. So,
Yeah,
I think it looked a little interesting. The whole belt and the no red draws lost me. So that's already automatic.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to see Superman with drawers again.
Right.
Not in movies.
It doesn't look right.
Well, I like the red trunks, man. So
I mean, it's an OG part of the character. There are ways to get around that. Like instead of actually having a separate set of drawers, you could have a red section of the suit in that area to sort of look like, having underwear on the outside.
Well, I always thought that's what it was the color, or just coloring.
No, like the original OG stuff was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you look at like George Reeves, like even though it's in black and white, like you can envision the color on his suit from the comics. So yeah, that was theoretically his suit. It was sewn in to the whole suit,
right?
But it was distinctly a separate piece of fabric.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just a different color, so it wasn't like a onesie.
Right.
It's
well, man, I hope we see the red trunks, man. Because if not, yeah, it's not going to be right, man. But we'll see, man. I know we'll have a whole lot to see between now and summertime of 2025. So, we definitely at this, have a little less than 2 years to see this whole thing come to life. So, but what's crazy is I wanted to actually get to this last part, which I was hoping Vidge would have stuck around for. I think it'd have been, better suited for him to check this one out. But if you wanted to switch to the Turtles, we can switch to the Turtles and then
all right.
Then wrap it on up.
You got it.
And I was hoping how, people would feel about checking something like this out on
What?
Can you find the Turtles?
Right there.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. No, it sounded like somebody was
Sleeping? Yeah, I was. Okay, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, the game, is fighting its way to Xbox Series XS.
Do y'all know what that is?
Well, that's not like a new console that came out with.
Yeah, the Series X is new. Yeah.
No, the Xbox Series X and has been out for like 5 years already.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right, but I'm saying the Last Ronin. Y'all know what that is?
Oh yeah, that's all about the last surviving turtle going out there and on a mission.
Right. Okay. All right. I was just trying to ask if y'all knew what that was. All right. Cool.
And this is written by Fraser Gilbert, and it was written on Friday at 2:40. Wow, they gave us the time. THQ Nordic has announced today, as part of its 2023 showcase, that we're getting a brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game on Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S.
Yes.
And it's based around The Last Ronin. For those of you who don't know, The Last Ronin was the name of a highly popular comic miniseries from 2020 to 2022 that's soon getting a sequel. And this upcoming game will serve as the official video game adaptation. There's no date for this one yet, but we'll keep you in the loop. For now, here's some more details. Who is the Last Ronin? In a future battle-ravaged New York City, a lone surviving turtle embarks on a seemingly hopeless mission seeking justice for the family he lost. From the minds of the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and based off the best-selling comic event by Eastman, Walls, Bishop, Delgado, and Escorza Brothers, the official video game adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. Okay, and that's all they seem to really have.
No, so my question is, is this something that you guys would be interested in playing?
Yeah, it's intriguing. It's a different take. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how they do it, what the gameplay is like, all that. I mean, obviously, we don't have enough.
I would have to have more information.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it, are we dipping back into side-scroller stuff, which seems to be, popular with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Right.
Or are we, third-personing this, or what have you?
You think they'd do a first person on something like that?
First person works with guns. It doesn't necessarily work really well with like fist to fist or weapon combat like that. Because I've seen people try to do like the VR headsets with that type of shit, and it just never works.
Well, I mean, but wouldn't it be like, let's say, like a Skyrim? A lot of people like to play it in first person. That way, all they see is someone swinging the sword, or putting up a shield, or using a bow and arrow, or whatever. You think something like you seeing a turtle either using the sword or some nunchucks or something. You think that would be something people would be interested in seeing?
If it was an option, yeah. Like not definitively if it came out only in first person.
Right.
If it was selectable like other games where you could play third person, because you're at a great disadvantage when you're in first person. The lack of peripheral vision when it comes to games. That's why VR works in first person, because it gives you a bit of that back. So like if you're not in VR and relying on a screen, it's very difficult to do first person stuff versus third person, because you can, your camera's pulled back a bit and you can kind of see to each side of the character.
Right.
So if something's coming in from your blind side when you're in first person, you don't know about it till you already got hit.
Right.
Yeah, that's true, man. Actually, I think with the whole concept of what this is, I think it'll be more of a darker, grittier turtle game than ever seen, especially because of the severity of what they're, everybody's dead. He's the last one. He's on probably a one-way mission. Whatever he's going to do, he probably thinking, hell, I ain't going to, he's going to try to accomplish something and probably is not planning on returning. Yeah, exactly. So, how deep can this go? And I think it was interesting just to say, hey, look, we got, they're coming with this Ninja Turtle game based on this. And what's up, Sentient? He said, all right, fellas, got to bounce. Have a nice one. All right, take it easy, Sentient.
Take care, man.
And just to see that, and I was like, wow, they're actually going to do a game. It's like basically, it's like doing a game on let's say on the Logan movie. The story of Logan, old man Logan.
Yeah.
Now just imagine it going from comic book straight to video game.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know,
I mean, the subject matter definitely leans it into a dark.
right.
Whereas a lot of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games in the past were fairly lighthearted because those who knew the characters more than likely knew them from the animated series,
Right.
which was lighthearted for the most part.
Right.
You know, like if they had gone back to like the original comic books, that shit would have been rated R from the jump.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, for the most part, all we've ever had were the lighthearted animated series Turtles in games.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to see and I hate to use this term, but a grittier version of that.
Right. Yeah, I thought so. I was like, you know, this is interesting. I wouldn't have seen this coming. I know they had just dropped maybe a year ago. They had dropped basically a collection of all the Turtle games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they combined them all and put them out. So I was like, damn, I never got a chance. I know Vigilante owns a copy. That was about a year and a half ago. They put that out. I know Vigilante owns a copy. I've seen him playing it a few times. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I thought, damn. And, you know, those basically all have the same fun feel of gameplay that they have. But then all of a sudden they come with this. And I'm like, this looks like this is going to be a new way to look at these Ninja Turtles. Because I couldn't see it being this serious of a game, but created in the fashion of what we've seen Ninja Turtle games done before. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I think this had to come from a whole different angle. Just curious, did it say who's working on it, or did you say that it's just coming? If they mentioned like a studio or anything,
THQ Nordic,
which is interesting. They're an interesting company. They've done a lot of different types or genres of games. So they have a pretty broad spectrum of what they are capable of. And they're really good with physics. So fight physics might be top notch in this.
Right.
I would say take one of the Arkham games for Batman and put it in the Ninja Turtle universe. That's what I'm starting to kind of gather from this.
Right.
I could see that being the case.
Now that'd be pretty cool. Now that you mentioned that, I could see, you know, you put, you know, Ninja Turtle, in a setting like what you would see in a Arkham, and, you know, be able to do, that would actually work.
Yeah,
that would work better than, you know, this kind of concept getting put on, you know, the old school style of, you know, gameplay of Ninja Turtle games that we've gotten since the beginning. Hell yeah, that was I could see that, man. Well,
yeah,
that's a good idea. I hope it's good, man. I never read the comic, but I've heard that it was actually a good one. So
yeah, I haven't read it either.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So that's, you know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you want to see more of what THQ Nordic does, you can see that related article, the top one.
Right.
It says, here's everything that was revealed at the THQ Nordic Showcase 2023. So obviously you can see South Park there. But yeah, they've done quite a broad range of games.
Yeah, I love their South Park games, all of them. They're fucking they're fun, man.
I'm trying to find. Let's see here. Their official website. These are all the announcements that other article talks about. So let's see. The showcase says Titan Quest 2, South Park, Snow Day, Gothic, and many more. THQ's Nordic Digital Showcase is a wrap. Let's see here. Yeah, Titan Quest 2, a Gothic remake, a separate game, by the way. South Park, Snow Day, Outcast, A New Beginning, Space for Sale, Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy, Alone in the Dark, Last Train Home. Yeah, they've got a number of games here.
We know that Alone in the Dark franchise has never done well, so I was curious that they're putting out another one.
Yeah. So that'll be a new one. Last Train Home, Tempest Rising, Recreation. Recreation spelled with a W-R as in to destroy. Okay. So this builds off of Wreckfest. Wreckfest is one of their auto racing games that's based on what they call banger racing in the UK and in Europe. Right. Where it's basically no holes barred, like you bump off the people, and like there's less rules about racing.
Right.
This one's interesting because it actually has a storyline to it, or at least it looks like it. There's a Way of the Hunter, and then The Last Ronin. Yeah. So yeah, they got a pretty broad spectrum of games. Could be interesting. Other than that,
yeah, I think I have. We'll keep our eyes open, see what else comes down the pipe on this game. But I think this thing could, if they do it right, this thing can blow the door. It could blow the roof off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, like being like, yo, could be one of the best. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff with the old nostalgic stuff, but I mean, as far as something recent, this could probably set them on another path. And of course, they're writing a part 2 to that story,
right?
And from what I'm understanding, in the part 2 is where the last turtle ends up going into like a multiverse deal and running into the turtles that we see. So it's basically, so he's a part of an alternate reality that can maybe or maybe not come true, and he'll be trying to like prevent all the shit that happened that put him in that position to begin with, to try to prevent the turtles from actually going through it, so that they don't have to die the way they did. So that's the sequel. Yeah, that's what they're working on for the sequel.
Okay, so this is a reveal trailer. We'll watch this.
Okay.
I'm muted here. Hold on. Can you hear it?
Yep,
Yeah.
I hear it just fine.
Didn't really show much, but you can definitely get. Oh wow!
PlayStation.
Wow.
All right, so we'll stop that. Yeah.
So Nickelodeon's a part of this. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Nickelodeon has the rights to like
the Turtles. Yeah.
Well, not the Turtles as a whole, but like their media when it comes to like TV and
right. That's yeah. So whether they put them out on TV, video games, whatever, it has
it filters through them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting.
Looks interesting. Man. Like that intro is pretty crazy. Like showing just a glimpse of what each one died from, and having the candle pop off. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's just pretty interesting, man. Actually has me a lot more interested now after watching that.
Right, and the ending little image that they had, the foot soldiers look interesting.
Right.
They don't look like traditional foot soldiers.
No, they don't. But you know what I noticed though? They actually look. Something about it gave it that mutant mayhem look in some weird way. Not to say that it looked completely like that fucking movie, but there's something about the animation kind of it's like the look of the foot soldiers kind of favored in a way. It was weird. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's all in my head. I'll have to look at that again, man. But
yeah, because I only briefly kind of looked at a lot of the Last Ronin as far as the comic book was concerned.
Right.
And I don't necessarily remember what the foot soldiers looked like.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could pull, inspiration from both.
Right. Exactly.
But it definitely looked serious. It didn't look like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It like animated series. Like, it looked serious.
Yeah. And it definitely didn't look like old classic turtle, games, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Well, tell you what, fellas, I know we've been at it for a minute. We can go ahead and wrap it up, man.
Sure.
If you guys like to.
We hit all of our articles, and that's the first for a long time. So we actually did something this time.
Oh man, no shit, man. We do it. We do it every time, man. Sometimes we just can't get to stuff, but I'm glad we was able to at least. I think Vidge would have enjoyed the turtle article more than the Superman. So, and it's funny because he actually likes turtles, Ninja Turtles. So I thought he would have jumped on it first.
Mm-hmm.
but shit, yeah. Baron, you got anything you want to plug in?
Well, of course, Wednesday I'll be on with the Pop Talk at what time? 6 o'clock Central Standard Time on Pacific 414. And then this Saturday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, we're going to be doing a Babylon 5 stream on my channel. Where I'm finally getting something streaming on my channel. And we're going to be talking, following through and talking about Babylon 5, the first season, going on and talking about the whole series as we go along. Obviously, season 2 the next week or so, and so on and so forth. So we got that penciled in for this Saturday at Baron Armentag's Phantom Legacy, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Shit. Hey, what's up, Turk? You got anything?
Just more of the usual. Work, and work.
I got you.
Working the fingers to the bone.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, on the car front, the Dart is getting a lot of peripheral stuff now since the engine's already in.
Cool.
So it's getting the brakes sorted out. And it's getting a larger fuel line so I can feed the beast under the hood.
Right.
But I may do something once it's all said and done. I mean, I know it's taken a bit, but should be done before the end of August, I would hope.
Well, shit. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah. I'll do some burnout videos or some shit.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Huh. All right. Shit. I know I'll be trying to do some stuff. Hell, I'm all up in the air, man, because shit, my life kind of is all over the place. But you guys are definitely here for me this week. I got to figure out some stuff, and I'll be working on some videos. But until then, I want to thank each and every one of y'all for being here. We love you guys. Thank you all for the love and support and just being there for us. We thank each and every one of you for just being awesome. And we just want to thank y'all, for sticking with us every week, man. We love you guys. Thank you for supporting us and looking out for us and, sharing our stuff, looking out for us on Twitter, just, hollering at us, saying what's up to us, thank you for everything, man. It means a lot. And just want to say thank you. So with that, It's my brother Baron Norman Tag, my brother New Bomb Turk, my brother Vigilante Williamson, and I'm your boy 24/7. And we are the Primetime Kings of Live Stream, and we are out. We love you guys, and y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we see y'all during the week. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Cheers.
Peace. Yeah.